Not
You don't want to do it?
Not you?
Do you want to do it?
You don't have creamsicle? No?
Why not?
Not me.
Not you what?
Yeah.
Okay, anyways, you.
Nice. Hi, welcome to Lizards and Locations, where we're doing the Pillars of Creation campaign today. My little
Brain baby.
brain, there you go. My creation, my brain baby, my spawn of terror, horror, awful
Say
things.
Satan.
Also
Well, Satan is a specific thing, and we don't want to be too specific into a single pantheon. There's a lot of people around here that deserve that respect, not just the Judeo-Christian Satan.
The Judeo-Christian. Thank you for not being supernatural.
No, God.
We only focus on one God.
It's the super.
Listen, everyone knows.
We
Supernatural
only
is
focus on Jensen Ackles. That's it. That's the only person we care about.
I can focus on Jensen.
Are you kidding? It's more like Jared Padalecki.
They're
What?
both very nice looking.
Anyway,
Well, whatever.
they're not in this campaign yet.
Yes.
Fantasy Jensen Ackles.
Look, we brought
We
Tony
do
Hawk
have
in. We
those
can bring
characters
others.
we made.
We didn't bring Tony Hawk into this campaign
Yet.
yet. Yes, Tony Hawk is an interdimensional being, and will be making his appearance somewhere down the line, I'm sure.
Hey,
Because
Tony Hawk, hit me up.
Hey, Tony Hawk, hit me up in the freaking line of TPA apparently, where you don't get recognized as Tony Hawk.
We do know what you look like.
We do know what Tony Hawk looks like.
Guest star. What's in it for you? Absolutely nothing.
Also,
Friendship.
Probably
do a
pizza.
kickflip, my guy.
Do a
Do a
kickflip.
kickflip.
Or pot stickers. We do pot stickers a lot.
Dude, we have some in the freezer.
Oh, and the mini Costco tacos?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
those are
We
good.
see those. Yeah.
All right.
This is like a cold open / introduction.
You don't have to say it's the cold open.
Oh, sorry. Don't say that.
You don't
That's not
say that
part
it's
of
a
the-
cold open.
This is the part where we stop.
Acting's new to me. I haven't taken my lessons yet. You know,
Go to bed.
it's right over there.
Yeah,
First.
go.
First rule of improv: always say yes.
Always say yes.
Yes.
And
How's your water? Good?
Yes, and
Yes.
is also it.
And
Or you could do the Justin McElroy version of improv, where you say no, but. Previously on Dungeons and Dragons, our intrepid adventurers found themselves in Ravendale at the library of the headquarters of the Pillars of Bahamut. After a bit of a briefing, they were ushered outside as a slight emergency was occurring. As they all gazed out onto the wide ocean, they noticed something that wasn't there on their march up north. A large temple, ziggurat style, protruded upward into the sky with a large beam of energy as clouds swirled around it. And even this far away, miles and miles away from the epicenter of this growing storm, they could feel the energy of this temple. After a bit of a, let's say, pensive moment between the group and the pillars, they reviewed a few things that they knew about what had happened in the previous adventures before the beginning of the podcast, and how this may or may not somewhat fall into the purview of their responsibility. They had, of course, given a magical eye to a dragonborn they had befriended along the way. Befriended is the word. There's definitely some friendly interactions. And she told them exactly what her plans were, where she was going, and that particular that particular area was exactly where this new ziggurat was positioned. Not long after, they got a call from Shapash on a magic piece of electrum that she had left with one of her closer friends. Basically confirming exactly what they feared. Fortunately for them, though, they needed not trek all the way back down to Cliffhaven. They had a magical circle that was being used by the Pillars of Bahamut to teleport to the vicinity of the ziggurat. Luckily for them, they seemed to teleport right at the front door, where they encountered a few of some less friendly nautical creatures. But they didn't seem to put up too much of a fuss.
Weird fish.
Very much weird. Well, it was an octopus and some flail snails, so I don't think snails are technically fish. They're like mollusks, right?
Yeah.
Might as well have been a crack, and that thing's huge.
Well, depending on who you talk to, all animals are fish.
That's not correct.
One of us has a biology degree.
Yeah, what do you think?
On a level,
Mm-hmm.
all of us are fish.
Okay, what level is that?
One.
One level. Okay.
One level.
Okay.
At the very top of the tree that we all branch out of
Okay.
is fish.
Well,
We are just fish that are specialized to have...
all right, well, you can be a weird fish. I'm going to be not a weird fish. How about that? Is that cool?
No.
Damn. Anyway. They made their way into the interior of the temple, where they found some strange oval, almost like pods. Upon inspection, they found some trapped Kuato in there. There were a couple empty cells, but definitely seemed to be some sort of stasis chamber or something like that.
This is behind that liquid thing, right?
It was like super congealed liquid, because I remember, I think it was you who
I put my
pushed,
hand
yeah, you
in.
pushed your hand into it, and then it was kind of like a gel pack, and then you
Yeah.
pulled out, and then it kind of
Refirmed itself.
yeah, like self-healed almost,
Yeah.
like it kind of like oozed in itself, and then, yeah, exactly.
Flex seal.
Flex tape.
Yeah.
After some, excuse me. After some investigation, you found 2 doors on either side. Both were locked. There was a door on the interior of the chamber as well that you didn't quite investigate as much. But after you guys decided, like, okay, let's see if we can open these doors, you notice that on the lapel of a lot of the Kuato that were trapped, several fish hook-like keys. And after Adi bravely decided to pull one out, it activated a alarm which freed the rest of the Kuato, who then proceeded to have a bit of a fracas with you. A real Donnybrook.
A real Donnybrook.
A real Donnybrook. And after, I want to say, a minute or so of pretty chaotic fighting, 2 or 3 of them escaped up through a tubular opening from the cells, and kind of escaped. You guys probably could have chased them if you wanted to, but didn't seem to be the most prudent choice. Then, after all of that, finally we find a key that opens the door, and upon that door opening, we now return to our adventurers' perspectives. So congratulations, you guys opened the door. What do you do next?
Scream.
Alright, we all scream.
Hey, hold on.
We all
now.
peek the microphone.
I'm giving John work to do.
Hey John, you like editing?
Des is gonna peek down the hallway, just gonna see, like, can I see anything?
It's a little dark. There's not a lot of natural light in this particular hallway. In the main chambers, there wasn't any like sconces or any like direct forms of light that you could see, but there was a lot of like moss and a lot of like almost shiny rocks along the top as it kind of arched upwards.
Okay.
So there was, like, you could see, it wasn't dim light, but it definitely wasn't like a brightly lit room. It was like a dusky, like very, like, and even now, the air is extremely heavy. Like like if anyone's been to Florida ever, it's like you're swimming in it.
Oof.
So it's like supernaturally humid in this particular
Today.
temple.
It was today.
Yeah, pretty much. We've been to Florida after a rainstorm. It's like twice that.
Yeah.
I like the flavor of Whisper's like ambient surroundings are so cold, but she's just frosty.
Oh, like
Yes.
a little mist. Good enough.
Absolutely.
That's
There's
pretty cool.
more than enough liquid that any cold is going to be just, even if it's not necessarily.
She looks like dry ice.
yeah, pretty
very
much.
moist.
And it's a bit cold as well. It's not to the point where you need to bundle up, but enough to where like if anyone's wearing anything less than a coat, they might be like getting goose pimples if their race is capable of doing so.
Well, I'm glad that it's finally comfortable for me,
Right? Exactly. Your Whisper's feeling great.
especially after using half of my abilities.
Yeah, there's half your abilities, most of the spells, most of your spells.
Yep.
You almost dropped a couple times.
Yeah, I'm down in health pretty good.
Yeah.
This is got like
This will be an interesting little foray into this little temple.
I'd say Des is like coughing like
Mhm.
a little bit here and there, like like because it's just like wet. Des isn't.
Yeah, and you can't even light a smoke because it's so humid.
It's just like she's like
This is the worst.
she's kind of like high key grumpy about it.
Yeah, the girl from the desert.
It's just like she's just like looking at her coat and there's like a little bit of condensation on it. She's just a little bit miffed.
Yeah.
She's in the wettest place on earth.
To answer your question, the hallway that you're in kind of follows the rounded ziggurat formation of this temple. So like it kind of like goes out, kind of curves around, and it goes around a corner that you can't quite see.
Okay.
And there's a bit more of like the luminescent moss that's going in through some murals that go along the side. It definitely feels like a bit of a ritualistic mural, like most of the murals you've seen have depicted some form of ritual or some fantastical sea creature or something that you guys haven't really had a lot of experience with, including Giannis. So yeah, it's a bit creepy. It's a bit foreboding.
The
Yeah.
Croatoa had the patches of Leviathan on them too, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
they had the more
The
serpentine
fish-eye-esque.
fish eye, yeah.
Yeah.
As opposed to, say, Adi's blazing, like, orcish eye. It's a bit more...
Yeah.
A bit more, hooded.
Sure.
Yeah, but yeah, you guys see just the...
So we're
A basic
definitely
hallway.
not sleeping here.
As you ask that, the whole temple rumbles a bit.
Yeah, I think this thing is gonna like explode or something, and I'd rather be awake.
As it rumbles, like, there's, like, bits of water and, like, bits of lichen and stuff that, like, kind of knock off of your guys' helmets or your faces if you're not wearing anything to protect
I
your
don't know if this is the most stable place. Maybe we should keep going, yes?
I walk down the corridor.
Okay.
I follow.
Oh, I guess we're walking.
You guys walk.
We can run.
Yes. Make your way down the hallway, and as it curves, there's not a whole lot of differentiation between the hallway of where you started and where you're going. Although you do find a similar door that you did when you unlocked the one from your previous little antechamber.
Another one.
Yep, pretty much the same kind of like fish-looking thing. As it, you can see it like it looks like it's jumping out of the water, and its body is along the way of how it rolls out of the wall
Oh,
or into the
man.
wall, as it were.
Who has the keys?
I believe Adi had the key.
Yeah, totally. I kept it and I use it on the door. I don't know if somebody else took it or not, but I use it on the door.
Okay. Yeah, the door opens. You slide the fish hook-like thing into the mechanism, and you hear a little click. And as you push it, it just kind of rolls itself over to the side. I assume you guys go through this door. And you find yourself in a very familiar situation of another large oval-shaped room with oval-shaped cells along the walls.
Well, ain't that a bitch?
I am not the one. I'm not the one. We're not... Again? Okay. We have to figure out how to do this without more... whatever these things are.
Yeah. Last situation got a bit fishy.
Boo.
What's all of your path of perceptions? You fucking assholes.
Oh. You had a real question.
Yes. Sorry.
No, you're good.
18.
17.
Okay. With an 18, Des goes around, looks through all of the cells once again, and this time instead of Quadto, it's filled with Sahagin. Which are like, instead of the chunky carp-looking fish people, different fish people who are more like elongated, large fins extruding from their limbs. And you recognize them from your time with the pirates and Shapash, as you guys went to investigate the sunken ship. They were the ones that came kind of to your aid, kind of not. They were kind of like a neutral party looking for their share of what they viewed as their territory. like the booty from their territory, as because you guys did kind of sail off to the north to loot that particular ship. So you guys are familiar with this particular species.
Great.
I'm really starting
We've-
to hate fish.
We've definitely faced these ones before. They're the same ones on that pirate ship.
Why can't some of these prisoners be cool like you?
I don't understand.
I'm not gonna unpack that one.
You don't attack us.
I think she's calling you a fish.
I'm not gonna unpack that one.
Wait, hold on. Are you not a fish?
No.
Oh. My bad.
I haven't seen too many what do you call bipedal fish.
What would you call the
I mean,
Quadto that
can
you
we
just saw?
fight a bunch of bipedal fish?
They're fish people.
If I knew what bipedal
Different
meant.
stuff.
Okay. Are you not a fish
Walking
people?
fish?
Never really had to think about it. I'm just a Triton.
You know? That's fair. Yeah.
I talk to fish. But
Fish language.
It's sus.
That's no, it's gas, yeah.
I mean, I'm not you can't hear me speaking.
No, you're the voice of my father
God.
that tells me not to do stupid things.
gods.
Yeah, I'm not chatting with you guys. I'm just adding commentary.
Yes, I am humanoid. Triton.
You're
They
really
are-
opening my eyes.
They are Kurotoa. I am Triton. We killed Flare Snail. I am Triton.
Oh my god, am I being racist?
Usually towards chromatics.
I mean, I guess any position from directly shut is open, so.
What?
That's deep.
Like where I come from, we Tritons are the main species, if you will.
Yeah.
But there are what you call sea elves, which are different. They are not Tritons.
Okay. Yeah.
And
I
then
follow.
there's Sawing and Krakatoa. They don't usually visit the city though. Sea elves, and it's mainly predominantly Triton with other beasts of the sea.
I'm learning so much.
Every once in a while we'll have land dwellers make it, but it is under extreme rare circumstances that they are allowed into the city. At least the underneath city.
Like what? I want to hear more, but let's walk and talk.
What is Adi doing? While these two have a conversation about what constitutes a fish person.
Looking all really, really irritatingly bored, I guess.
Is it the
God.
same sort of circumstance where it's like there's a hallway and then at the end there's like the two doors? Is it like the same kind of deal?
It's literally almost exactly the room you came in on, except the only physical difference you can tell is that instead of being filled with Kawato, it's filled with Sahagin.
Well, at least we know we didn't go in a circle.
Well, there's got to be another door, right? So let's just open it.
There is
And
a
if there's a key, there must be a lock.
Is there any runes on the side of the walls or like anything that shows language of some type or symbols or?
yeah. We checked that before. And,
Well, and like in this new hallway, there's still.
oh, there's nothing new.
Okay.
It's the same language that you didn't understand before.
I vote we pick a door and go.
Yeah. So
As you guys are looking out, there's the door directly across from you, the one that looks like a fish jumping out of the water and rolling into the wall.
Sure.
There's also one to your right, which looks like the two double doors you came into the temple on. And then to your left, they're down a bit more of a down where the room kind of like converges. There's another large door that has the same kind of it has like a large visage of Leviathan on it.
I vote that one.
We want to go to the sacred chambers?
I think
Possibly.
we went through a jumping fish one,
Sure.
and we ended up in another prison. So let's go through a door with a different thing on it.
That is one form of logic. Let's do it.
Some interesting deductive reasoning. I can't see a fallacy in there.
As you say that, the temple shakes again.
Except maybe we should do it a little quicker.
I'm up for it. Let's go. Let's do it.
Does this key unlock the Leviathan door?
You can't find a particular keyhole in the Leviathan door.
I push it.
Can I investigate it?
It's too late. I'm gonna go with click. What do? You hear a click.
Roll away.
Roll away how?
We were walking and we heard a click.
You open the door and you heard a click. And this is specifically for Adi, but everyone else is allowed to make it.
Super wide area.
The door is about the size of like this table that we're playing.
But like, can I roll to the side? Or
You can do
I
whatever
roll-
you want. I'm just asking you what you're doing.
I roll sideways, like tuck and roll.
As she does that, I put my shield bracing.
Okay.
Forward.
I do have a shield on the body.
Okay, so you two are the ones up front, and you guys
Yeah.
are not up front at all. Or-
Usually not.
I'm up front.
We didn't specify, but usually not.
Yeah, usually not.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, rolling to the side and holding up your shield doesn't do much because a large plume of green gas kind of
Okay.
like shoots out from the two sides of the door as it opens, almost like it was decompressing something. I need both of you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Right.
Blech.
Blah, blah, blah.
20.
20? Okay.
16 plus 2, so 7. 18.
Okay, so as the noxious smoke kind of fills your nostrils, you're able to like cover your nose and cough, and you feel like a little nauseous. Like as you like back up and like wave it away, you're like, but you kind of like calm down, take a breath, you're fine, and as you see the green mist kind of dissipate.
Okay.
That smelled gross.
Oh no,
Yeah.
they can smell it. They just
That's
weren't
just, like,
so
using their
so
taps.
concentrated that they were in danger of becoming poisoned.
Disgusting.
Do I
But we're
recognize?
here.
Do I recognize what that smell is?
Make a nature check.
11.
not within your normal purview of whatever, like, I guess being a sheriff. You don't get a lot of poisonings in Andersville. At least not without alcohol poison.
I was
Alcohol
saying.
being
I
in
was
front of
just about to say.
Drinks. Yeah.
Are we still going this way then?
Yeah, let's do it. We already might as
Okay.
well.
Alright, and the marching order is you two up front, Whisper and Des in the back.
Yeah.
As
Is it
per
enough to fit
usual.
2 by 2?
I mean, I'm a little surprised that Giannis goes first, because I know Whisper is gonna... That's fine. It's fine.
It's in the characters, not in the logic.
That's fine. As you guys walk through this hallway, you see more oval-shaped indentations in the wall, but these ones aren't slightly like convex like the other cells were. These ones are flat with mirror finishes, and as you pass by, images of Shapash fighting an elemental you can see flash through it. You can hear it gently come through the reverberations of the glass. You look to the other side, and you can see your allies of the Pillars of Bahamut fighting similar Kuatel that you guys fought earlier. You can hear the sounds of battle slightly ringing through those as well. And there's different visions, sometimes the same vision. Shapash you see 2 or 3 times. You see Ace a couple times. You see the other Pillars of Bahamut a couple other times as well. It seems like they've gotten split up for whatever reason. Perhaps the magic teleporting circle didn't work quite as well for them. But you also can see in one of the last 2 on each side, a large pedestal with an indentation that's missing. A orbular... Spherical? Spherical. A spherical recess that is missing something, and energy is swirling around it, and you can see little bits of rock falling into that thing. You can't hear anything, but if anything looks like something is shaking, it's that particular area.
Bet you wish you'd let me keep that eye, huh?
Listen, hindsight's 20/20.
Except when you had foresight like I did.
This whole encounter was gonna be much different than the way, because I thought you guys were gonna take the eye and like go with her, but you guys just gave it to her and it's like, oh, this will be fun.
Fuck pirates.
It's always funny how that kind of thing goes. But yeah, and at the other end of this hallway, which is lit up by these bright, shining, like almost, I want to say mirrors, but they're clearly designed to be something different. You see another door with the same Leviathan visage on it.
Somebody else want to open it this time?
I'll open it.
Yeah, let's do it.
You're just gonna open it?
Yes.
Click.
This time I hold my breath.
Okay. Anyone else want to do anything in particular?
Yeah, hang back.
Yeah, I can
Try
do it.
not to get caught in a trap again, but
Okay. You hang back. Jonas holds his breath. You guys wait a good 4 or 5 seconds and nothing happens.
The door doesn't open, or
The door opens. You push it open. But, like, you hear the click of something is supposed to happen. And nothing quite happens. And then you hear a loud rumble behind you. As you look back, you see a large wave of water sprout forward and push you guys forward into the next chamber. I need everyone to make a dexterity saving throw.
yeah.
You thought I was going to use the same trap twice.
Oh. Well, I rolled terribly.
Awesome.
Yeah, but you probably don't have a -2.
No, I do not.
That's what I love to hear.
3.
3? Okay.
Die.
8.
Okay.
Dang, you're a dexterous, massive
18.
dragon.
Yeah.
Okay.
9.
Okay. So as this giant forceful wall of water pushes forward, everyone who did not save is going to take 9 points of damage.
Ass.
It's going to be bludgeoning damage, and that makes a difference. And then Des will take half that. We'll lower it down to 4 just for consistency's sake of anything being half gets lowered.
So it's like pushing us forward through the door area.
Yeah, but like violently forward.
Okay. Yeah.
Like you guys hit your faces on like the door frame, and that's why you take so much damage.
Shit.
You also hear the glass of the whatever it is you guys were looking for shatter as the water plunges forward. All right, as you guys kind of like pick yourselves off, Des kind of like hanging off of the door frame because she kind of got a grip on it, and that allowed her to kind of stabilize. She kind of like lets go and goes thunk, onto her wet boots onto the wet floor. Once again, just absolutely drenched, which I'm sure she loves.
I really can't stand this much water. Y'all good?
Yeah, barely.
Yes.
Des is gonna like kind of help each one of them up, like kind of
Mm-hmm.
pull them up, each one, and with that, in her own way, she's gonna cast aid.
Mm-hmm. Want to pass me your
Yeah,
cup?
thank you. Can you pass? Sorry, I don't want to.
Very good.
All right, so you guys.
Oh wait,
What did aid do?
What's up?
5 hit points each.
Temporary
I
or
cast aid.
is it temporary or actual?
It's
Aid increases your maximum hit points.
yeah. Each your maximum is increased and your current hit points are increased.
Yeah.
Okay.
By 5.
Nice.
So it's like the best healing, honestly. What's the casting time for aid?
1 action.
1 action? Oh wow.
Now we don't get to lift our HP max because we already had a 10 point.
No, you can.
Okay.
Thanks.
What are you asking?
So we already had 10 above because of her spell.
Oh.
Is her spell maximum hit points or is it temporary
It's
hit points?
maximum.
What spell did I cast on you? I don't remember.
Did you also cast aid?
Probably.
Oh,
Oh
did you?
yeah, I did as a 3rd level spell.
Okay,
I
then
forgot
it won't
about that.
it won't stack. So
But
you can't do it again.
I didn't cast it on me. Though.
So we just get the current hit points from it, right?
The
What's the length on it?
8 hours?
8 hours.
Okay, so yeah, it won't. And it's not a concentration, so you would have to dispel it with some sort of like dispel magic if you wanted to do it again. But then you would also lose your maximum. I guess it wouldn't really matter, but yeah, no, you'd have to dispel it first because her spell is technically still in effect, and,
So-
and then they don't stack.
Does it not heal them though? Like
It does not. It would have no effect unless you cast it at a higher spell, and even then you would only get the amount of health above the one you cast it at, which I don't think you can cast above a 3rd level spell level 5.
But
Not a lot of
they'd
wand or
still get
something?
the HP.
They have the max HP.
They were saying the current HP, but we
The
still get the current
Yeah,
HP.
it gives
Yeah,
you
like the
5
maximum-
current HP.
So for example,
and
my
5
max HP is at 48 right now.
So
It's 10 above.
so it says it does heal you.
Yeah, it heals
Yeah.
you and does the.
Then it would just do the healing. It wouldn't.
Okay,
it
so I
wouldn't-
still get that. Okay.
Okay, so yeah, you can still heal.
Okay. I took damage. I healed. I took damage.
Okay.
And
So-
then I don't have a max modifier yet, so I get 5.
I do. Oh, because you cast it on us.
Oh, that's right, because you didn't get one. So yeah, you do get the 5 maximum HP to your bone pool.
Nice.
Okay, well, that's it's something. So everyone heals 5. Adi gets 5 maximum. You guys look around at this room, and you can see the I want to say architecture, but like the walls and the mason work have this swirling motif of like almost like you're looking from the inside out of an ice cream cone as it swirls and goes upwards, as you can see a large amount of energy pulsing through a well in the middle of the room, and it's shining almost blindingly up through a hole in the middle of this room as you guys are in the center of the temple. You see around this well a mechanism with several levers. There's 3 on each side. And around it as well are some almost like, I want to say like what's that stuff they use when they're constructing a building?
Scaffolding?
Scaffolding, exactly. And like inside the scaffolding, there's like funnels that go down into this basin on each side of it, and it just kind of lightly turns around this fountain of energy. And you can see from where you are, there are doors dotting along the outside of this room. One of them being from when you can tell where you initially entered the temple. Like there's a door immediately to your left. Has the same Leviathan motif as they all of them do. So it's a very symmetrical design.
I'm going to. Hold on. Actually, give me 1 sec. I'm gonna take a piece of my chalk and just kind of like mark on the door that we came out of.
Okay.
Oh, wet chalk.
It's a bit rough because you are all wet. And trying to do like your chalk is a bit kind of goopy because you've been in the water at this point.
Yeah.
But like I'm gonna say that your backpack was not watertight, but it was not open as the water flew into it. So I'll allow you to make like little mark. Just you can tell that it's not like a crisp like on a driveway, but you can tell that there's a mark like this is where you came out of. And also the fact that the door's open is a big.
Oh, yeah.
It's an indication, but I understand what you're going from, and it is an intelligent move to do. On the off chance that something happens and a door closes. It's not the craziest thing to happen in a dungeon. All right. What do you guys do? What do you think?
I want to.
Also, just for some flavor, because I think this is fun. What does your aid spell look like? What is? Because I can kind of see Adi's aid spell looking very different than what Dez's aid spell would look like.
The way I cast it was that I like kind of pulled everyone up, so I'd imagine it kind of just looked like some kind of empowerment coming from me and like kind of glowing, and just when I picked them up.
So almost like the act of helping them up was the somatic component of you casting the spell.
Yeah, it was like, the act of helping or doing something for them.
Is there a somatic or not a verbal component to this? To the aid spell? Like, is there something you have to say in order to make it work?
Yeah.
Maybe it's like, I got you.
Okay.
Pulls them up.
Okay. So you have to say the same words every time you do that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I got you. Or
it doesn't have to be that way. You can kind of play a little loose with it. But I am also going to have to roll to see if your spell goes off. Because I almost forgot about that.
Yeah, I thought of it.
I wasn't going to say a word.
I wasn't gonna say word either.
I almost forgot about the rule that I made up for my own campaign.
I was gonna let it slide. Okay, then I call penalty, whatever.
And I rolled pretty good on that roll, so I think what we're gonna do is you guys feel so gratified. Grateful. There we go. Words are hard. Grateful that instead of the 7 healing, instead of the 5 healing, let's do 7.
Oh, damn!
If you insist.
I do insist.
Is it 7 max too, or no?
Mm-hmm.
Only
Everything that
affects
was 5 is now 7.
Yes, it only affects me.
Oh
It still
yeah.
affects me.
You guys still get healed for 7, but she's the only one who gets 7 maximum. Because I'm pretty sure you did 15 max. Because you did a 3rd level spell, right?
10, because it's a second to start. So
Ah,
10.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Wait,
Awesome.
I'm supposed to have 10 extra marks?
Yeah.
Did you only have 5?
Yep.
Oh, there you go. I'm glad I said something. Okay. So now you guys are feeling extra grateful.
So this is clearly like their religious center type thing.
Is that spoken in the form of a question, or?
Or as a form of Addy. I know it's Addy.
No, it's a question. I mean, Addie's a cleric, so I mean.
Well, make a religion check if you're actually asking.
Can she make a religion check with wisdom?
No.
Sam knows that.
I appreciate you asking, though.
Sweet.
It is no form of religious regalia or anything that you've ever seen.
Is this something I have seen? I'm not trying to stuff
Yeah.
it, but like,
You
just as
well
a
make a let me think. Make a religion check
religion
as well.
check. Okay. Shitty roll, but I'm not gonna use my last luck. 9.
No. You have not seen anything like it in a religious
Can't
sense
recall
as
it.
well.
And, yeah.
Yeah, like you may have seen something similar because I'm just gonna give this to you because it's kind of like a similar thing that you guys might do of a water-based like a plumbing type of thing.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, that's about it.
An aqueduct?
It kind of looks like an aqueduct a little bit, just from like the barest, like the way that we're all fish level of it might be an aqueduct.
So an aqueduct.
Yeah. Sure.
And the basic understanding of channeling water.
Right. There's
Yeah.
the process of moving water from
Yeah.
one place to another place.
Is there currently water going through it? Or
So you said the water is something is like it's swirling.
The energy is swirling and coming up out of the well. It's like you can see like little bits of energy kind of like trickle off and like almost come out, and then it kind of like turns into water and falls to the ground. So it's almost like a fountain, but the fountain is not necessarily water. It's like an energy that turns into water once it becomes unglued from its like big, like larger form.
Okay.
And as you guys approach it, like it gets warmer as you go towards it. Just because of all the energy that is kind of like leaking out into the air, it's making it a bit warmer.
Let me.
Isn't it?
did you swallow your sneeze, or what was that?
Shut up.
It was like Schmidt from New Girl. Where'd it go?
So, do we open another door?
I think Dez is gonna try taking her crowbar and just kind of like holding it close to the energy just to kind of see if it gets hotter.
Okay.
Like if the metal gets hot, like as she gets closer, does the metal get like hotter?
It doesn't get so hot approaching it. Once you actually touch the energy beam with the crowbar, it just shears off.
All right.
So like you're holding a crowbar that has like it's just missing the prying end of it, not the
So
circular
glad
one.
you did
If
that, because if
I-
we waited too long, I was gonna stick my hand.
If I
in.
try to do, if I try to use my cantrip shaped water, will it be able to hold any of the water that's inside the energy, or no?
Ooh. Make a spellcraft check. Like
Okay,
use your
so, like,
spell. Use
spell
your
modifier?
yeah, like act as if you're casting a spell on it.
Okay. Oh, that's not good. 17 plus 6, 23.
23. Okay, you are able to kind of siphon off a little bit of the water, like out of the energy, and like you can kind of see like a little wedge of water kind of go towards it, and it kind of like gets sheared off, and then kind of turns it in on itself into this little
Like
floating
sphere.
bubble almost of energy, and you can see it like kind of like shaking
Yeah.
as
just
you're
trying to
as you kind
contain
of
it.
struggle to contain it. But with a 23 on your spellcraft check, I think you did more than enough to do that.
This is cool.
This is pretty cool. I don't know what you're gonna do with it, but I'm really interested now.
Do we stick the crowbar in that now?
No, that is no. This no.
Okay.
Do we bust down another door with it?
Ooh. Like throw it?
Yeah.
So this came from not the aqueduct looking thing.
No. The aqueduct is basically surrounding this stream of energy. Like you know how the outside of the walls kind of like look like a circular like swirling thing that goes up.
Yeah.
The aqueduct
Yeah.
is essentially
Device.
kind of like almost like you can hear it like wind chime because it's made of metal as
Uh-huh.
it kind of like circles around this giant fountain of energy.
So if I take that and put it into the aqueduct, if you will, the device will it then travel with it?
What do you... Describe to me exactly what you want to do with this orb of energy.
So I want to take the sphere and
Uh-huh.
put it into whatever water transportation device and let it
Well,
travel.
There's funnels going into two basins as they circle. You want to put it into one of the basins?
What happens if I go up? So if there's basins there, what's on the other side? Do I not know?
I mean, you can see that there's, like, pipes going down towards it. And there's,
I
like...
want to put it at the highest point and let it naturally do what it's going to do after I release.
Okay. As you release, it kind of explodes in, like, this big, like, of water. It was like this big, right?
Yeah.
And suddenly there's, like, a water, like, 20-foot, like, radius thing of water just pours down onto this. And, like, it kind of shakes a bit, like the whole kind of structure shakes because it wasn't meant to take like all that water all at once.
Yeah.
And just kind of like you can see it all kind of like pouring and going through different aqueducts as it falls and kind of tumbles around.
Going
Like one of
into
those
the
like marble towers, and like as you see it kind of all kind of ping pongs around. And it all falls into this basin which can't control all that water, and it tips over and all of it dumps onto the ground, and like as you can see it kind of like bounces a few times as it wasn't really ready for that. And then it kind of like lifts back up.
Naturally.
Yeah, it goes back up, and then the basin resets.
Is the basin on some type of water, like a buoyancy thing? Or
No,
is
it's entirely a construction of metal.
Huh.
Of like this like deep brass.
It's a Vogel dog.
It must just be weighted.
What if we hit the thing that's holding the basin in place and just kind of take the basin? Yeah.
For what?
Can you guys?
To carry
What do you
water.
guys think you're looking at right now? Let me, because I explained this and it feels like you guys are ignoring some obvious mechanics that I've explained.
So what I picture is there's this fountain piece,
Mhm.
right? And the fountain piece is what's protruding the
Mhm.
energy. And then I'm picturing some type of slide,
Mhm.
if you will, in
Mhm.
which water travels down into
Yes.
these.
there's two
Thanks.
slides that slide
Yeah.
around.
I grabbed energy from the fountain
Mhm.
and put it into that.
Right. And it did exactly
What's-
what it was supposed to do.
What's
There
at
are
the bottom of the fountain, I should say.
the bottom of the fountain around each side are 6 levers.
That's I didn't. Okay, yeah, I should have listened to that part.
Yeah, I missed the levers.
Yeah.
I'm just like trying to figure out like, do you guys know there's like levers here? I didn't mention that, yeah. Yeah, there's 3 levers on each side as you're walking into the fountain
Whisper.
area.
What's your favorite number 1 through 6?
It's 6.
Okay, what's your favorite number? Has to be 1 through 5.
I think I'm gonna just take a quick look at all these levers real quick.
He chose 3. What's your favorite number 1 through 4?
Oh, that would be.
-3.
Oh fuck.
But also added 5.
8. I mean 2.
No, I like 2. You have to do something else.
This is gonna investigate the levers while Giannis is
Remind
doing
me
this.
what
Make
the
an
numbers
investigation check.
are.
1, 3. I forgot the numbers.
14.
1, 4, 5.
There's nothing unusual about them.
But
They're
I
just
can't-
there's like little levers that have like a clasp that you would grab and then pull down if you wanted to activate the levers. They are sticking out.
There's I can't see any sort of mechanism that would trigger whatever blah blah blah. It's just kind of like, okay, it's just kind of here. All the mechanisms and things are hidden behind.
The mechanisms are embedded into the there's a stone protrusion out of the ground that the fountain is coming out. That the fountain of energy is coming out of. They're basically just embedded into that.
Do any of them look like they've been used before? Like hands.
What did you get for an investigation?
14.
Nothing that you can tell.
You want me to crush up some of those rocks so you can see what the levers do?
I think we should just. God, I hate this.
Pull a
idea.
lever. This one right here.
Alright,
Is
I'm
there
gonna
any
s-
symbols attached to the levers?
There are symbols, but you don't recognize them.
We don't recognize them. Are they each different though for the 6? Can we at least see there's a difference?
Yes, you
between the
can. It looks like there are 2 sets of levers with the same.
6? So 3
Symbols.
symbols, 2 sets.
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
Do they look like the symbols from the prisons?
There's no way for you to know that.
Worth a shot.
So we want to pull this lever right here, yeah?
Hold on now. Hold on. Wait. Ow.
Now see, sometimes when Bruvs wants us to work together, he places similar looking eyeballs around something and you're supposed to do them at the same time.
Let's.
Is Karumsh a raid designer for World of Warcraft?
Do the symbols look like anything else around?
Do they look like a bitch?
Or did Jonas already ask that?
What's that?
Do symbols look like something else inside the room, or did Jonas?
I asked that.
You did ask that.
I didn't.
Oh, you did.
Did not. Yeah.
They don't look like anything else that you can see. There's not a whole lot of writing or ritual carvings in this particular room, as opposed to the other room and all of the hallways. This one is pretty much dedicated to that swirling, and I love doing this thing with my hands. Apparently, the swirling architecture.
This is like
Are
the toilet,
they-
isn't it?
Pictograms.
In that all letters are pictograms, I suppose.
The way all people are fish.
Wait, all people are. Do they look like just like a letter?
They
or
don't
do-
look like hieroglyphics, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah.
Okay. If there's two similar symbols for levers each, that's 3 sets. There's 4 of us. So if we
There's 2 sets.
There's
2 sets of 3.
yes.
or 3 sets of 2.
If 3 of us pull 2 levers at once, the matching symbols, and one of us watches and well, I got nothing.
But aren't they on opposite sides of this big thing? How
Are
are we
they?
gonna read
They
it?
are on opposite sides.
The ones that are same symbols.
Yes.
I'll take a look at. I'm the most perceptive of us.
So, okay, what is this?
What a thing to say.
What if
Des knows what she's about.
I looked at my character sheet, guys. I'm the most perceptive.
I know what I'm looking for.
what if
You are a sheriff, so I suppose that's fair.
we just do one set at a time? So we pull the same symbols at the same time, then switch to the same symbols, and then switch.
I think my best Bruv is looking at something though.
Des gonna
If those things that's
Sorry, who is your best bro?
Jonas.
It's absolutely everyone in this room. I'm sorry.
It's high key Dez.
It is high key me.
Okay.
You're absolutely my best bro.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
It's you. It's absolutely
It's fine.
you.
I thought we had. Yeah.
I thought we were friends. It's cool, but we have.
I think we're all friends. We're all buds and bros and loves and.
Excuse
Anyways.
me, I think we have something pressing at hand.
Everything rattles around.
We're in a watery hellhole with a bunch of levers in a godforsaken pillar room. I don't
And
know what the
honestly,
hell
if
this
we don't
thing
pick
is.
one soon,
My
I'm just
mother
gonna
told
pull
me
this
that
one.
friendship means everything.
Let's pull them
I
at the
am
same
your
time
friend.
because they do have the same symbols
Don't
on them.
knock the
Jonas,
friendship.
And
Groups
as
don't
you-
like teamwork.
As you two have a bro moment,
Rumble.
the entire temple starts to shake.
Oh god,
I feel like
damn
the
it!
Rumble's the DM.
So
Jonas, let's do the similar pulling. Let's do that. That's the best idea we've got so
let's
far.
go with the middle one first.
It's the
Whatever symbol is in the middle.
middle.
I'm trying to communicate it.
Yeah. So we'll do the.
You can just say like a thing that corresponds to it. Like it doesn't need to be.
Yeah. So we'll do one set of symbols together.
I picked the middle
let's
one on my
say-
side.
Middle
circles.
Whoever's the most circular for the symbol. And if there's no circles, then the most edgy.
Edgy.
All right. So you both pull the middle lever, and as you do, you hear the rushing of water from above you, and it kind of like echoes a bit in this chamber, like super echoes. And you see from a middle pipe, kind of swirls around and it kind of drains all the way, same kind of ping pong thing you saw.
Mm-hmm.
And they both drain into each basin. The one in front of, like, the one that is closest to you kind of swirls around and goes into your basin. The other one swirls around and goes in front of you.
So each lever has a basin as well.
The levers, when you pull the levers, an amount of water comes down and goes into the basins. The ones that are corresponding opposite.
Shall we do the next ones?
Yeah.
Define next ones.
The one
ones on
to
the
the right.
right.
Yeah, clock.
Okay.
Whatever.
Counterclockwise.
Yeah, counterclockwise. I know.
Okay.
I know circles.
All right. In that
Damn
case,
you, digital clocks.
you do. You both do a little. So like you both go to.
Right. We're just doing this.
So you're going. So you're going to the right, and you're going. You're both going to the right.
We're doing this.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case,
I'm good at survival. I know which way's right. I'm an expert at that.
the lever that you, when you pull your lever, a large, like more water than the previous one
Normal.
pours down, swirls around, and goes into the basin in front of you. Yours, less water than the previous one, comes out and empties into into the basin near him.
I see. It's not handed, it's symmetrical.
I mean, did they have the same?
They had different symbols.
Guys, I thought we were looking at the symbols when we pulled.
Yeah, that's what we were doing.
Grooms likes
Sorry.
teamwork, guys. Why
See,
are we so
what?
dumb?
You didn't say that. You said you were moving counterclockwise.
We did say that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We got
we were
excited.
stupid.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Let's both pull the big one.
No, let's empty out the basins.
How do we
Don't
empty
they
out
empty
the base?
themselves?
No, we can dump them out, can't we?
I am
they're
not
empty.
touching those. That killed that poor little
The
crowbar.
basin did?
I don't know.
No, the energy did.
I thought it emptied itself.
No, the overflow emptied. These
No,
empty
girl,
themselves? He said they didn't empty.
They have not emptied.
I mean, I'm not touching
You
it.
saw you saw it empty itself when it was overflowed.
So if we can make it, so we can make it overflow if we do another big one.
Or you just make a big bowl and pop it in again. But that's more magic. And it's not Groomskiven magic, so it's all kinds of wonky.
Should we just do the last two levels then?
Which ones did you just pull?
If we were here, we didn't pull these.
But we should have
You
pulled
you
these.
guys. I'm assuming that you guys are separated as the table is separated just
Yeah,
for
yeah.
just for convenience for my sake. Okay, so the ones you guys pulled a bunch of water, just more water than you did when you both pulled the middle ones. And this side, when they pulled their lever, which was to their right, less water than what previously came out went into your basin. So right now, the basin on my left, this side of the tables, is more full than yours.
What if we just pull the other two and see if that overflows it?
So this is the hectagon right here.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
The other option is that it kills us. And that's always
So
fun.
I pulled the forward.
we've done
so
these
now-
two essentially, right? Now we have these two left.
No, we did counterclockwise, so we did these two.
the middle and then those two.
You guys are going clockwise 2 steps, correct?
Alright, yeah.
So this
Okay.
one.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, this time, the lever you do, a little bit of water comes down above you, swirls around, settles into their basin. And the one you do, a bunch of water comes down, flows around, empties into your basin. And now both of the basins are just, like, you can't tell, but you can kind of, like, hear it kind of sloshing, like,
They're at the very tippy top.
like, you could, you know how, like, when you're pouring a glass of water and it goes,
Yeah.
you can kind of tell just from the reverberations, because the way that the echoes of this chamber go, it's near the top, it's not full.
The little one.
What?
Because it goes small, medium, large. Let's pull the small.
So you stay on yours and I'll move back to the one that was small for me.
So you want to pull the... Remember, they pull it to the opposite side, though. Right?
Yeah,
That's true. You have to pour
we're
your...
even. We've pulled one
You have
small,
to
one
pull your
medium,
small.
one large each.
Mm-hmm.
We're almost there. Let's both pull small.
Okay.
So you're on small, and I have to move back to the one I pulled the second time.
Yes.
So you both pull.
I don't say as Addie. Whisper tells me which one to pull.
Mm-hmm.
And because you've done that, you can just say small, medium, large. You don't have to do like a simple thing.
Let's pull small.
Okay. So go to the one that would be the small.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to make you, like, remember which one's which. Right, so you both pull the small. The small amount of liquid comes in. You hear it fill up to the top, and you see it pour over, and then you see both basins tip and fall and empty themselves and reset.
So we put too much in.
I guess so.
Oh, this is really just like a toilet. Yeah, we're just in like
What is toilet?
you don't use the toilet in the under the sea.
We have bubbles.
That's disturbing, actually. 'Cause bubbles usually
You
go up.
haven't used the toilet since you've
They
been
pollute
here.
us, we pollute them.
You haven't.
This makes
used
a
the,
lot of sense.
You haven't used the toilet since you've been here.
What happens once the bubble pops? It just comes back down.
Wait, are you talking about the little trough?
Yeah.
Like in the room where there is a what
The
you say?
chamber pot.
No, the what's this chamber pot?
It's a pot in your chamber.
I just been using at the foot of the bed. There's a trunk. Trough, yes, of course.
Made a lot of friends along the way.
Unless it had like a hole for you to sit on, no.
Thinking back.
No, you
thinking-
open up and
The
the
Andersville innkeeper just like, I got some apologies to make.
Quick question. What the fuck?
I'm virgin. I've said this.
Oh, because she said, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yes, she
Oh,
talked of sex.
Yeah.
No.
No.
The entire temple shakes violently at this
So
conversation.
Should we try pulling these levers again? Or
Let's-
pick another door?
Let's pull. Okay. So one of each was too many.
Sure.
One of the,
No, one of each was not enough,
one
and then
of
we
each
pulled
plus
another
one
small,
was too many.
and then it was too many.
Mhm.
We did small, medium, large.
What if we did middle?
Large,
Fuck
large,
it, let's
large.
do it.
Or middle, small?
Okay.
There's small.
Medium or middle?
Medium.
It's the same thing.
Okay. Sure.
Medium. Let's do it. Medium. Let's go.
3 mediums.
1, 2, 3.
3 mediums?
Let's do it.
3 medium aquas.
Okay. You both pull the middle one 3 times each.
The medium one.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
The middle medium one.
Yeah, like I said, same thing.
Same thing. Get it.
And you see the basins fill up the appropriate size as the water kind of flows around you.
How full is it?
It's a little less than when you did one of each.
A small then.
Small.
We pulled the small.
Okay. You guys pull a small amount of water pulls in. You hear the telltale as it kind of like sets in, and you hear like a grumbling. Not like so much the entire temple shaking this time as just like the apparatus that you've kind of activated, and it kind of both of them kind of like lift and they kind of turn, they kind of fold. The basins don't drop anything; they just kind of fold up into the ceiling, and then the flow of water kind of like as the fountain of energy shuts off, and suddenly it's extremely quiet as the hum of the temple that was being kind of echoed by this stream of energy shuts off, and it gets a bit darker.
Less warm, I assume.
Yes, it goes down to being cold, but a little less humid. I'm not sure if you would notice this, but
Is this really a good thing or kind of a bad thing? I'm not really sure.
What now?
Well, I mean, I didn't particularly like seeing a beam of energy floating into the sky from a
True.
mile away.
True.
Think it's a good thing, but also Shapash is still out there, so we're in danger.
Also, dark and cold tend to be bad, right?
you mentioned Shapash, and you can hear through the quietness of the temple now the ringing of steel on steel on rock, of steel on rock, coming from below you. You can tell that it's kind of reverberating up and out of this now empty well. And you can hear grunts and signs of, and like sounds of battle
Dizzle's gonna kind of peek over into the hole and be like, Shapash!
It echoes down, and there's like a slight hiccup in the sound of action. And you hear Shapash say, "Where the fuck have you guys been?" And it kind of like echoes like loudly out, but you can't really tell how close it is just because of how the sound has escaped.
How do we get down there? Do we jump in the well?
Fuck if I know! And you hear clang again as like a very loud like steel on steel rings out.
How deep does it look?
You can't tell. It's very dark. There's no light in this well.
Is it still... Well, you said it was still really, really humid, so match doesn't work.
What if I...
Yeah, the match wouldn't work.
I haven't done it yet, but Tritons, we have this thing we do, a wall of water. I can make it 30 feet long.
Okay.
What if I send a pillar of water 30 feet long down and we, how do you say, water slide?
It's not like it's a slope though, right? It's just a well. We just kind of...
But water would slow you down.
But we don't know how deep it is.
I mean, would it though?
Yes, if you
Here's
drop into
another
water,
thing.
you don't go at the same speed you fall from.
As long as it's 30 feet deep.
Here's another...
Well, it's a chance, but architecture-wise, have you heard of anything with a 30 floor second?
I know so much about architecture.
And orcs don't do much, do they?
Listen. And Des is going to hold out a
The racism is coming out
Little
strong tonight.
We've plenty of buildings, okay? I just don't deal with them.
Well, what if I was able to shape the water down as I did it?
We also have rope.
How much rope do you have?
About 50 feet.
So only 20 more than my water slide idea.
That's 20 more feet, though.
It's like 2 water
Plus,
slides.
I might have rope,
Not
but
quite.
I'm not really sure.
We'll get to use the wall of water. We'll do it.
I
You
just
know,
haven't done it yet.
we'll make a water slide that isn't a mystery, and it'll be way more fun.
Just the defeat. Oh, that was really good. I was waiting for someone to say, "What about rope?" It was a great idea, though. I was like, "Oh, interesting."
I do not have any rope as well.
Do I have rope?
If you guys took the dungeoneering pack at some point, you should have rope.
I would need my...
I don't think I did.
I do have rope. I have silk rope. 50 feet.
There you go.
Can I have my phone?
I also have a rain catcher.
No.
Nice.
Yeah, I can't have my phone.
What?
Why can't
I do have
numbers?
50 feet of rope.
And then there's silk.
Hempen.
So you guys got 150 feet of rope so far.
I have to check. My inventory's on here. We could just keep going. I probably don't.
Alright,
have rope,
let's
if I'm being honest.
tie this rope together. I don't know how deep this damn thing goes. How like...
Could we...
Could I parse, like, how far away she sounds a little bit? Like an
No,
idea?
because like I said, when she yelled up, it kind of like reverberated and like filled the room almost.
Oh, was it delayed, though?
There would be no way for you to know that.
If we put something that's in the rope and with it hit the ground, would it not echo back up the sound? So if we use 50 foot of rope, it would let us know if 50 feet was enough.
Can't argue with that.
Like if you wrap my shield in it, shield heavy, yes.
Let's use my shitty crowbar.
Is also okay.
You're just full of problem solving.
That's what I do. She's gonna like tie up the crowbar into a knot
Mhm.
and kind of like throw it down.
It clangs a bit off of the side.
Mhm.
It's like,
Oh, this is enough.
and then it just hangs. You can feel it kind of still tension on the rope.
Not quite.
A water slide? At the end of rope? Okay.
Let's
The
hold
next
off on
50. The next 50.
I prefer a water slide where I can see The end of the water slide.
The next 50 goes down. Clunk. And there's still about 10 feet of rope left as you feel the line slacken a bit as the crowbar hits the ground.
Didn't we have another
You really
50
want the
feet
spot?
to run?
You did have another 50 feet of rope.
I'm gonna go
I
ahead and
like
tie
water,
some
that
of
much.
that extra 20 feet.
I breathe water. So.
What are you going to tie it to?
I'm waiting for these two.
That's fine.
That extra 20 feet, I'm gonna tie to some of this metal structure that
I
seems
treasure your
particularly
honesty.
sturdy.
No, this metal
I
structure
really
has
do.
lifted off
I like
into
your
the air.
ingenuity. But
I-
should
Well,
I'm really strong.
I'm gonna tie it to...
Basin?
The basins are gone.
Basins are gone.
Wait, what?
I just asked.
The entire
Oh, well, there's the fountain itself.
There's
isn't
no
there?
scaffolding?
the scaffolding has lifted into the air and
No, I
it's
mean,
now
there's the
floating.
fountain base, isn't there?
Yes,
So,
there is.
yeah, it's tied around.
Somewhere to tie it?
The fountain base, like the actual base of the fountain,
How
is
big
like
is it?
a good 40
Some of it. Okay.
So. Like if this was a massive stream of energy.
Kinda strong.
No.
I wouldn't drop you.
No. So,
How wide is the hole?
Ooh, plus
I want to
carry
find
like a
something to
large
tie it
person.
to.
It's about the extra like the okay, so the hole would probably be about 20 feet wide.
I want to find something to tie it to.
Okay.
What if I?
You don't need to roll.
I'm asking.
Do you know? What was around the basin that I told you about that you've forgotten about already? Again,
The lever.
there you go.
The
Pull the lever!
You pull the lever and a bunch of water flow just sprays everywhere because there's nothing to catch it anymore.
Tied the rope to it, and I'm like, alright. We're good to go. Let's do this.
You tied it to the lever.
This is gonna check
Does it
that
look?
tie.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Oh, does it look sturdy? The lever, like it's not gonna break.
Make a strength check.
Well,
I know, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. Make an investigation check, actually.
Okay.
For real, though.
Did you make
Does-
a really good knot? Tie it nice and taut.
Yeah.
Your rope tying
11?
skills are on point there.
21.
21.
Best it can be.
You can't, neither of you, you can't even move this lever unless you actually use the little clap, like the release. So, like, if you just try and shake it, it just will not move.
Seems sturdy.
Now
yeah.
step.
Yeah, I'd say.
I'll go first.
Well,
It is your girlfriend.
It's my girlfriend. And also probably my boyfriend.
You get like really attached to the people you fuck, don't you?
Listen, I'm
Marriage.
going through some stuff.
marriage indeed.
she's trying them out. We talked about this.
Yeah, see?
Scouting the lands,
Sure.
as she said.
Mm-hmm.
Sowing the seeds.
Anyway, I'm gonna
See
vault
how
down.
many fish are
I
up
mean,
in the
any,
sea.
if anyone, I guess they're sowing their seeds in you, but it's a racist, that's a sexist metaphor anyway.
You're also
Yes.
assuming that they finish inside.
Are they finished inside?
Oh. This is like either that was a jester or that was Naruto. Believe it.
Believe it!
It was Naruto.
Alright, so you pull the rope back up, you take the shitty crowbar off of the rope, and you give the rope to Whisper.
And I vault my ass down.
You like literally just jump?
No, I vault.
Without the rope.
Oh, you repel?
You mean repel?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, no.
Vaulting
Don't-
is just throwing.
You're just
Vaulting is like going over.
I swan dive. You watch Assassin's Creed? Yeah.
I'm a science.
There's a haystack at the end of this.
You're
I
an
know
entire
there is.
I love the confidence
Yeah,
too.
me
Yeah,
too.
vaulting. That's what I'm gonna do. Like, okay. Alright, so you rappel down.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought that was vault.
It's okay. It's really funny.
I'm funny.
Well done. Alright, so you did that, and like you can hear Whisper as she kind of like her armor kind of like clunk, clunk, clunk. Like one time she hits the other side of the wall.
Click, click, fuck, click.
Like as you are going down, you can kind of see a little bit of light, not a lot, and there's definitely not enough to make it all the way up. But once you're about halfway down, you start seeing a light on the bottom. And then you kind of like pass by a little opening. And there's an opening on either side. And then there's walls on the other side. And then you look through and you can see Shapash fighting an animated suit of armor with like this giant greatsword. And you can kind of see her dodging and clumsily weaving around it as it attacks her.
Oh.
There's still a good 10 feet until the well actually just kind of like crumbles into kind of like a rough kind of like a rough hewn work, whereas like it's stone, but it's not work stone, it's just like rubble.
Alright, well, I'll go ahead and get off here.
Okay.
And as soon as my feet are firmly on the ground,
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell my companions I'm done. And I'll run to join the fight.
Okay. In that case, I need you to roll for initiative. That does not look like a large roll.
It's not bad. It's not bad. I just need to figure out what my initiative is. $18.
18.
Alright, and welcome back. We've had a bit longer of a break than we anticipated.
It took us 24 hours to set up a map.
It did not do that. It took us 24 hours to go to a bar, watch a hockey game.
They won, by the way.
Become inebriated, go home, come back, play another session of Dungeons & Dragons, and then come back to this one.
You know, for fun.
I think that sums it up.
Took the scenic route.
There was also some furniture moving that we got into.
Yeah,
That was
we
pretty
did.
cool.
Yeah.
We got our workout in.
Dude, guys,
We
we
bought a
were
couch.
hella productive today.
So, you know.
Yeah,
Hella
nice
productive
chaise
day.
lounge, right? Yeah.
Shut up.
Shut
Yeah,
up.
just-
Look at this dude. He's shaped.
Okay, so we have the initiative for people. I believe I asked you for initiative before.
Yes, he did.
Do you remember what that was, or not?
I do remember it was 18.
18, awesome.
I don't know how I remember that.
I don't know how you remember that either, to be honest.
That is
That's
kinda
great. I'm going to need everyone else to also roll initiative.
Okay.
Despite the fact that we're not down there yet.
You're not in there, but you are participating in it, I assume. So,
Fair assumption.
so unless you decided to just kind of bail, then yeah, you kind of still need to roll initiative.
See you.
Alright, can we get 15 to 20?
Oh, I didn't roll yet.
Well, can I get a roll?
Yes, Dad.
Not mad, I'm just disappointed.
18.
Thank you.
Okay. Making sure. Triple double check.
What was the
I'm
range?
asking if anyone has 15 to 20?
I had 21.
21. Alright, Des. 21. 10 to 15? 5 to 10?
8.
7?
Alright, so we've got
Did you guys fall over on your way?
7 for 7 for Adi, 8 for
Very
Jonas.
undexterously climb down that rope.
Alright,
Oh, we're just not on the map yet.
so the description for Whisper for now, I'm assuming the rest of you will hear this in a second. You exit the well that you were rappelling down.
I knew it was coming. I still jumped.
Yeah, you did. And you find yourself next to a podium of sorts, and it looks much like the podium that you saw in the Hall of Mirrors. There's a little bit of a raised pedestal. There's a indentation where you can see an orbular item is missing. Spherical item is missing. Also there is a suit of armor that is kind of just floating in midair. A sword, a long scimitar, also present, kind of like twirling around, not quite connected, but definitely focused on the other individual in the room, which is Shapash, who is right down this. There's like you're on the highest step. There's a step down, and then there's another step down, and then it goes into a long rug, which has been unfortunately kind of marred with mildew and the sign of aging, of being unkept in a very, very humid environment. Along the room are also some pillars that I've marked on the map. There's pillars everywhere. There's pillars all the way down, boys.
Pillars.
On the top, they've got a nice, almost like, instead of the ionic thing you might say, it's a coral almost with like grain coral with a little bit of the, like the Animal Crossing coral you find, and it just looks like a little tree. Lots of those. Anyway, Dez is up first, but Dez is also about 80 feet up. So I'm not going to say that you can only move your 30 feet if you're rappelling down, because I'm going to give you a little bit extra. But it is your turn, and you must decide what you want to do, because you now hear the sound of battle, and Shapash yelling, and just clanging of metal.
I did call for everyone.
Diz is gonna kind of get on the rope, and she's gonna kind of put her feet in like an S position, where like the rope kind of goes through, and she's gonna slide down, kind of tactically.
Making athletics check to see how well you do here.
Does that require? What about acrobatics? Could that be acrobatics? Because I'm not pulling myself up. I'm kind of just sliding.
Like sky dancing.
I'm just kind of sliding down.
I'll let you decide which one you use.
Yes. Acrobatics.
Okay. Well, that's
Really? I thought you were going to go for athletics.
You're
I would have been a little annoyed if you made that argument than with athletics anyway. There would have been some temple rumbles.
And that was when Des died.
All right, nice. I got
Rock falls.
Got an 18.
All right, yeah, you're able to go twice your movement speed.
Yes. All right, it's cool. I'll just slide down.
All right, so you're 60 feet down at this point.
Shh. Okay.
Okay, that's one movement speed. Do you want anything else? You can dash. You can do your movement speed again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's just dash. Let's just get all the way down.
Okay. We'll go ahead and put yourself anywhere within, let's say, 20 feet of this opening where Whisper is.
All right. Position me behind Whisper.
Like towards me, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, like right here.
Yeah, I'll kind of be a little distance away. Yeah,
Okay.
that's good.
That's fine.
Works for me.
And just so you guys know, Shapash,
Animated.
armor.
Okay, that is actually good to know.
Yes. Because she is a dragonborn, and that's a little dragon-ish. But yeah. Anything else?
It's like, woo! That was a that was a rush.
I got the heart racing. All right, next up is Whisper.
Well, I'm gonna bum rush the suit of armor
Mm-hmm.
and give it yield stab with a perfectly graceful. Ah!
All right.
Can you move me towards it?
Oh,
I'm a little far.
you're good.
And then I'm gonna use both of my attacks to stab.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I'll roll both of them at once to save time.
What efficiency?
Yeah, that's a 25 and a 23.
Yes, both of those will hit.
Cool.
Go ahead and roll for damage.
I'll roll my average. That just isn't the prettiest damage, though. Okay. 5 plus 8, 13 plus 12, 25 damage. Piercing.
You get 25 damage. It doesn't seem to do quite as much as you think it would, as your rapier kind of like bends a bit into the plate mail and kind of scratches along it. It takes some damage, but doesn't seem to bother it too much. Okay.
That's
That's all I got.
All right. Next up, we have Shaposh, who's just like, finally! What took you guys so long? As she takes out 2 crossbows and just goes, floom, floom.
That's gonna be like kindred spirits.
Got a little lost. It's fine.
But also, we didn't raise a temple out of the middle of a frickin' sea.
You know what? I deserve that. I'll give you that one. Alright. One of them will just kind of like clink off of the armor, but the other one will like punch through a little bit, so you can see like a little dent into one of the armor as it takes a bit of damage.
No, I didn't know why I did this at frickin' I did this. But you know, whatever.
She's a lady.
Like,
She's a lady. Oh.
that's also sir to you.
Okay.
Next is the armor, who will take 2 attacks, one against Whisper and one against Shaposh.
It can reach the Bosch from there.
You'll see what I mean.
Okay.
18 plus 7, I'm assuming that hits Whisper.
Yep.
And that will do 7 damage.
Woof.
He will then, after swinging the trident, the scimitar, he'll kind of like flip it, and it'll kind of morph midway into a javelin, which he'll throw at Shaposh. He's like, he's been doing that all fucking day, it pisses me off. But he rolls a 10, which will not hit her. So she just kind of like, she dodges, but it's like one of those dodges where like you can tell someone's just almost falling out of the way instead of dodging. She looks exhausted. Next up is
It's funny
Giannis.
and well.
And by the way, when the javelin goes out and misses, it like arcs back and kind of like morphs again into a scimitar.
Oh shit. Okay.
And it's back next to the suit of armor.
I was about to say, chance Lance.
Des is gonna call back up. No water slide, Giannis.
You sure?
No, you can do what you want.
Giannis is going to take the rope and do the whole S slide.
Just like he saw
Des did.
Des did?
Yeah.
All right, make a athletics or acrobatics, whichever one you prefer.
Athletics. It's not bad. 17 plus 6, 23.
All right, same deal. You get to go twice your movement speed because you're falling down.
Okay. Twice my movement speed,
Mhm.
so 60 feet.
Mhm.
Which is, you said it's 80 feet though?
It is 80 feet, so there's another 20 feet until you get to the actual bottom. If you wanted to use a dash move, you can get there this round. Otherwise, you can do a different move, cast a spell, etc., whatever. If someone goes down after you and takes the dash move, though, they're going to run.
Yeah, I'm gonna dash.
Okay.
Where
Where would you like to be?
essentially, we're right here.
Yeah, I'd say being 20 feet up and played on isn't the best.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Alright.
So that'll end my turn.
Mhm.
Face
Okay.
dash.
All right. No bonus action you want to take?
No.
Okay. No. Well, next to Bizzotti.
So I'm gonna go down the rope, more like actual rappelling. Yeah,
Let's chance of rope burn.
I'm not that dexterous at all. So
So, you know what I totally forgot? Oh, sorry. I'm talking.
good. Oh, good.
I mixed up
Bitch.
dash from dancing.
9.
Oh, yeah.
9.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
So,
terrible.
You can try and go twice your movement speed, but you'll have to make a dexterity saving throw in order to catch yourself if you do so. So that is up to you. You could always dash and just go your normal 60 feet. You are the last person down, so you're not holding anyone up if you do that.
Sure. So I'll do that. I'll use my bonus action to adrenaline rush dash.
Ah, okay.
Which gives you a full action. So.
Yeah, which moves me my full 60 feet then, because
Okay.
right.
So you move 60 feet and then 60 feet again?
So You said if I used half my movement and then dash for another half of a movement, then I wouldn't have to do the save.
Mm-hmm.
So I do that, and then I'm where? Am I down at the bottom of the
No,
room?
it's not that you move half your movement. You move just your regular movement. The save that they made was to do double their movement.
Yeah. So
So if you could dash and go 60 feet.
Yeah.
And then use your adrenaline rush to do the other 60 feet. I'm assuming.
sure.
Or another 30 feet.
Why don't you want to make the save?
A dexterity saving throw?
Oh, it's the next phase.
It would have been a dexterity saving throw if she wanted to go double her movement speed
Oh.
because she failed the athletics.
But
check.
if
Oh,
I
I
use
need
my
to fail that.
bonus
Okay.
action and my action,
Mhm.
then I can go double my movement speed.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
You tell me. I'm not familiar with the specific
It
rules.
lets me dash as a bonus action. So I could dash
Okay.
as my action and then dash as my bonus.
And then dash would be another 30 feet.
Yeah.
So you'd go a total of
60 feet.
90 feet.
90 feet.
And then you
Which-
get those temporary HP.
Yeah, but I thought the first dash was just getting me up to my regular speed.
No, you did your regular speed, and then your regular speed again, which was 60, and then your regular speed again on the bonus action dash, which would be 90 feet, which would get you 10 feet inside of the room.
Okay, sure.
Do that?
There was also there is also the option of going to the opposite room because there are two mirrored rooms, and this is just the one that Chapash and Winter went into.
I thought we went down the well.
You did go down the well. There's two rooms at the bottom of the well.
I'll stick with the people.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just letting you know your options.
So 10 feet.
I didn't mean to confuse
No,
you.
you're good.
Yeah, 10 feet within.
Like here?
Yeah, there you go. That's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. And I get temporary hit points.
That brings us back up to Des, top of the round.
Not bad.
Alright. So to the, let's call it west of the monster, is that just a solid wall?
Here?
No, like directly like off the map from the
This one?
monster. Yeah, is it?
This is a wall.
It's a wall?
Yes.
Okay, good to know.
Like there is a small opening here where the well was.
Okay. I'm gonna get sorta in front of Jonas.
Okay. So let's go here, like this.
A little more like I want to be able to shoot
Beside
a
him.
bolt at him.
Beside
Yeah.
me.
Like this.
No,
Like that?
Like on inside that steps right there next to me.
or actually,
Right
yeah,
here?
that works. That works. Yeah.
Okay.
That works.
All right.
All right. Gonna go ahead and do my little hunter's mark, of course, just
Okay.
to get that off. But
Hunter's mark works as intended.
and then I'm going to shoot a force bolt at him. Actually, it'll be 2 force bolts. But...
Okay.
So I guess I'll just make a strength save.
The armor makes a strength save. Yes. What's the DC for the save?
Let me check again. I forgot. 15.
He does not save either one of those.
Nice. Let's go.
So we're gonna do. So roll your d10s for each one of those damage, and then I'll have him take damage for being pushed into a wall as well.
Okay. Not my best. 5.
5 damage
Yeah.
for both of them.
Total.
Okay.
Yeah. They're like, how do you like the wall, ugly?
He has no mouth with which to speak, and therefore does not.
It still feels good.
All right. Anything else?
I think that is actually all I can. Well, yeah, that's all I can do.
Okay. Use the Whisperer's turn.
Oh, can you put Hunter's Mark around him?
Absolutely, I can if I had the rings with me, which I do not. If you could pause just there. And now we are condition ringed. So, Hunter's Mark up. Did all that stuff. Did the Force Bolt still do bonus damage when you hit when you have Hunter's Mark up, correct?
That was up to your discretion. Is that?
What does the actual spell say?
I
'Cause
mean,
I'm pretty sure it says whenever you do damage, it does extra damage.
Is 1d6.
oh, you mean the Hunter's Mark spell?
Yeah, because you did Hunter's Mark and then you attacked twice, right?
Yes.
All right. So does that?
Yeah. Well, the special thing is until the spell ends, you deal an extra 1d6 to the target whenever you hit with a weapon attack.
I see. And what you did not do. I understand.
Yeah. So it's a bolt, but you've called it. You said it's basically shooting the spell.
Yes,
Versus,
absolutely.
I think Hex actually just does any damage towards it.
I believe so too.
Because implying you're going to use Eldritch Blast.
Right. I mean, Eldritch Blast is a pretty good spell. All right.
Whisper, right?
Whisper is after Des, yes. If she has completed her turn.
We're good.
All right.
All right. So, a little sussy about my stabs not working out.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, I've just been radiating steam like a fucking block of dry ice this whole time anyway. And I'm just like, oh, is that how we're playing this, huh?
My pedantic side wants to ask if it is steam, but I will let it go either way.
Steam is technically water.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is with dry ice is that what it is sublimating off of the cube is just carbon dioxide. It's gas. So I think in layman's it's still steam, but in chemistry it's not.
I see. Anyway, continue.
So she's like, oh, all right, let's try this.
Mm-hmm.
And she's gonna use her breath weapon and see how that works.
Okay. That's a dexterity saving throw, or what am I doing?
I think for the ice weapon, it's Constitution. Yep.
Constitution saving throw.
Nice.
It is a suit of armor. It's pretty good at those. So let's see how it goes.
It's a fine. Okay.
Does it still do a half?
It got 13.
That matches.
So,
So it does save.
yeah.
So half a 7.
Half of 7?
Rounding down to 3, you said, right? Quick round down.
Yes. Always round down. Okay. You do. It doesn't seem to shake it off, but it also seems to kind of doesn't. It moves a little bit slower as it's kind of floating, and then it kind of shake, and then it continues with what it was doing. 3 damage isn't gonna shake it up too much.
3 damage isn't enough to see anything either.
Yeah, unfortunately. Anything else?
You know what? I'll huff another big puff of cold,
Mm-hmm.
and I will tell him, well, fine. Let's tango.
Okay.
And poof, I'm giant.
Ah, okay. Excellent.
Or large. I'm
Right.
large.
You are embiggened.
I am a giant woman.
Giant woman.
Alright.
Walking down the temple.
Alright.
Giant woman. Fighting.
I just I'm here.
Whisper smash.
Whisper do smash.
Where's Ace when you need
It
him?
was gonna call out hit him in the wall.
I don't think Shapash has seen
Ow,
you do
right,
this
'cause
yet.
She might not have.
Yeah, because I don't think you did this while you were on
Or
the
maybe
boat
she
with me.
did though.
I cast it large.
Well, that's between you and her, I suppose.
And big up.
So you just kind of hear holy shit. What is happening? What have I gotten myself into? Anyway, it is her turn. So she'll you can see her kind of cocking her crossbows. Takes her a second to do that, and she will kind of take her time to back up. 10, 15, 30. Just gonna kind of like lean up against the pillar and just be like, I'm gonna let you guys you do your thing. And then as you're saying that, the Mirrodon kind of like, or not the Mirrodon, the suit of armor kind of twists and slashes at you with the Simgarn kind of like going at your legs. That it's just gonna like you can see like it like processes it for like half a second before it continues. Right. This doesn't give you any bonuses to AC, does it?
Unfortunately not.
Gives you extra damage, right? Goodness.
Yeah.
All right, we've got a 17 to hit.
Nope.
And a 24 to hit.
Yes.
That does 5 damage. It's 2 of its attacks. And it will also have you take 5 cold damage.
Well, I'm resistant to cold.
Okay, so you take 2 cold damage. Alright. Jonas' turn.
How high up is this platform we're on compared to the main space?
Each one is about, like, 2 feet.
2 feet? Okay. So can I run essentially 2 squares off of that platform to the left? So essentially right there, if that makes sense. I'm moving at 30.
Yeah, well, it's going to be up about 4 or 5, so it's going to be 5. It's going to be 10, 15, 20. Do you want to go?
That's fine, I
Go on
think.
the other?
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, it goes basically up to your chest.
Okay, so I would have half cover essentially?
If you wanted to take half cover, yes.
Okay. I'm going to send a firebolt up into the animated armor.
Okay.
So if you want to roll for that.
I am going to. Thank you for reminding me that.
15 plus 6, so 21 to hit.
21 will hit.
Okay. And I'm a level 5 now, so my firebolt now does 2d10 instead of 1d10.
Unfortunately, the firebolt doesn't go off quite as well. It does 1d10.
It is 1d10? Okay. Dun, dun, dun. 8.
8 damn fire damage. 8 fire damage. Alrighty. And that was just if it wasn't clear, that was the result.
Yeah,
Of the
so essentially I just took the trident and went like that and just lit the focus from this crystal.
And it just kind of like, you see it glow and then it kind of like shakes a little second before it starts glowing again and fires off. Okay. Anything else?
Nope, that's it for me.
Alright, Audie's turn.
I'm gonna go ahead and can I tell if it would be affected by hold person?
Hold person is a humanoid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say no, but what do you think?
The metal thing.
Yeah.
I will cast. Yeah. Shield of Faith
Okay.
on Whisper.
Okay.
I don't know how you read my mind. I was looking at your spells and I was like, damn, I could use a Shield of Faith. And you said it out loud and I was like,
So I'm
oh my god, I
concentrating now.
manifested.
Spell goes off without edge.
And you get +2.
Nice.
And I'm concentrating for 10 minutes.
All right, let's get you a concentration ring first.
Concentration. Oh yeah, I need a concentration too.
Ah, yes, that's true.
For 100 mark.
Mm-hmm.
You just
For-
dangle it on.
For hunting the mark.
For hunting the merc.
Sweet, sweet. This was up.
That is what is up. All right. Cool.
Your action. Yep, that's it.
All right. Dez's turn.
All right. Dez is gonna kind of like position. Well, Dez is gonna kind of like get her crossbows ready, and she's gonna pop 2 more force bolts at him,
Wow. Okay.
and then hit him with a regular bolt.
So how'd you get 3 attacks there?
2 attacks from being 5th level, and then
And then
bonus
bonus
action.
Oh,
bonus action.
Alrighty. And what was the DC on that save one more time?
15.
He does pass one of the 15 DC strength checks.
Okay.
He is fairly strong, but he fails the other one.
Huh?
He will crash back into the wall because there's nowhere else for him to go.
I forget. Does it still do half if he fails? I don't remember. Like he doesn't get pushed back, but he takes half damage, or I don't actually remember.
I think the idea was that if he failed it, he got pushed back and got knocked prone. Which he's not getting knocked prone because he's a suit of armor that doesn't have the ability to be prone.
Okay. Fair enough. I'm gonna roll just for the last bolt.
And like when I say it's a suit of armor, it's literally just like a cuirass with no legs. It's basically floating there.
Does a 19 hit?
A 19 does hit.
Nice. Okay. So I'm gonna roll a d6.
What did you get for the force damage?
I haven't rolled the force.
Okay.
Yet. Just gonna roll it all together.
Okay, make sure you let me know which one is which.
Yeah.
For reasons.
Okay, wait. Hold on. Yeah.
Drum major's kicking in, huh?
Alright, so for the piercing, I did... I did 5.
Okay.
And for the force, I did 7.
Okay. Alright, so with the piercing, you can kind of tell, both from Shapash's earlier one and also from Whisper's rapier, it's just kind of seems to scratch along the armor. It doesn't seem to be getting that punch that you're used to from the piercing damage.
Mm-hmm.
But alright, it's taking quite a bit of damage already now from you guys, so it's looking a little scratched, a little bit. There's like some
kind of going
there's
on.
some denting, there's some
Some
frost that's
deflection.
kind of along the collar from Whisper. So it's looking, if there were a such thing as bloodied for a suit of armor, that is what it would look like.
I'm not deterred.
One of the few things that I will take from 4th edition is bloodied.
I'm not deterred by whatever resistances it currently has.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to keep stabbing it.
Just hit it harder.
Punch it into the wall!
Punch it in the dick. There's not a dick, so
The
don't do that. You
curious
miss.
that has no legs.
Kick it in that junk.
Slam it in the wall!
Hit it harder.
The one
I'm
thing
just
I will
going to stab it hard.
You
The
are.
one thing I will say, especially, and Des will see this with a passive perception of 18, when it hits the wall, it seems to like jar it a bit. It doesn't seem to shake that off quite as easily.
Yeah. Trust me, the wall's doing the trick.
Alright, 2 unarmed strikes.
Okay.
1 is a natural 1.
I'm gonna need you to re-roll the natural one to see what kind of shenanigans on that critical roll happens.
15.
Alright, you're fine then.
Did
It's
you
just
get
a regular miss.
perception because of like the ranger part, or did you do it because
But
like a
my arm
speeder
strike,
sheriff?
the other
So what?
one is a
Perception.
22.
22 will
I have
hit.
expertise in it.
And it's just a
So-
clean 4.
4 damage? Okay.
Bludgeoning.
So you kind of swing by it, and it kind of like lose your balance a little bit because I guess you're not quite used to being a giant in the moment.
Oh,
But then-
but I do get to,
Yeah.
sorry,
Yeah,
extra 1d6 for
Being
giant
giant,
woman,
yeah.
but it's 1.
Cool.
that's fine. So 5 damage altogether?
Yeah.
You come across, and then he kind of misses, and then you tuck your thing in and just slam it into the wall. It's 5 damage.
Well, it's more like
Yeah. I mean, you.
leaning over to do it.
Ding.
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, I was just giving flavor. If you want to do something specific, let me know.
very much like
Oh my
maybe
God.
even like shins it into the wall. Just
Yeah. No, if you want to just cross kick it right into the wall, that's more than doable at your current position.
trust me, hitting it in the wall works. Well, shit. Whack. Just done.
Atta girl!
Shapasha's looking at it like, that's hot, but I have no way to do that. And you just hear, chink, and fire off a bolt. Yeah, she does have it.
I was gonna call out, hey Whisper, I thought that girl lasted longer.
She just got a crit, so she showed you, yeah?
Peter.
Alright, so because of that crit, she's going to bypass the damage reduction because I think that's fun. And the rules are made up and the points don't matter.
Love that for us.
She will do
Whose bolt is it anyway?
a good 15 damage on that one. As you see, like, the bolt kind of fire off and just punches through the armor. And you just see there's a hole in the front of the cuirass that and you can kind of see like the metal like that almost looks brittle from that, it's just, as opposed to like the carved steel that you usually see. So it looked like brittle, like it almost shattered a bit.
Hot damn.
He's like, "Tell your friend who lasts long now, motherfucker."
Do it again.
Don't need to last long when you do the damage.
Are you still here?
Honestly, lasting a long time is important, though.
She's gonna shoot the other one at you, but not try to hit you.
That was hot.
Whisper, you get in a lot of cardio, right?
Oh,
Your
you
morning.
know. Oh,
morning.
yeah.
It's like a bolt just kind of skips across and it hits like the thing bolt that you're standing on, like it hits right below you.
Dez is just gonna kind of look down and be like, mm-hmm.
And then you hear Shapash reloading, like, fucking smartass. And now
I
it's
encourage this exercise.
the suit of armor's turn. As it, let me re-roll a thing that it can do. Alright. So it once again takes a slice at Whisper because it is a giant woman in its face. And I think that's fair. That is a 21 to hit.
Barely.
That is,
Damn.
it does hit, though.
I'm at a 20 with Shield of Fate.
And it used its ice
I thought you were
attack.
being a smart ass.
And it uses its...
It's like barely. It's like, oh.
which is 4 slashing damage and 3 cold damage.
So 5 total.
Yes.
He's whittling me away like I'm whittling him away.
Yeah, you both are just like slide.
Resist it, resist it, resist it, resist it.
And then the icy slash that he does, he'll kind of like spin around and whip it almost like a whip at Jonas. Look, there's only so many words I can use to denote the motion of whipping.
Only one.
And there was one of them, and I used it anyway. It rolls a natural 1, so let's see what stupid bullshit happens to it, if anything.
Oh.
Come on.
Again.
Stupid.
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 So, like, as it does it, the front end of the scimitar kind of breaks off as it kind of, like, shatters. And it just kind of, like, has half of the scimitar at the moment. And that's the end of its turn.
Talk about some erectile dysfunction. Oh my
Ha!
God.
I'm just picturing the shadow of Mugor blade. The little.
Yeah, pretty much. Just like the tiniest little blade. And if it had a face to look at it, it would be doing that now, but unfortunately it does not. But it is Jonathan's turn.
Okay. I'm going to. I didn't do as much damage as I thought last time. He's gonna like look at his credit, like that, and just shove it back in firebolt again.
Okay.
I'm gonna use my last luck to get rid of that natural 1.
Okay.
That's a lot better. 19 plus 6 is 25.
That will hit. And roll, and like, you concentrated on this one, and it came back in spades. Do double damage.
Twice. Ooh. 5 plus 5, 10, so 20 fire damage.
20 fire damage. Not bad at all. It's like any icy kind of trails that were on it are just now like this time actually
literally
steaming away.
steaming up off of it.
And you can tell like the metal of it just becomes white hot as the magic just infuses into it and
heating
kind
up.
of heat, and it's almost like held there. Like you'd expect it to like kind of dissipate after a second, it continues throughout the entirety of this next round. So it's Adi's turn.
Can I get up in front of it?
You
Steps?
can. This is a 4-foot step, so you could go around this 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and then 30, because that's only a 2-foot step. You could get in front of it, yes.
Perfect.
It's going to be a little bit of a shenanigan fest here because of how the condition rings are. But go ahead.
I don't normally condone violence, but this thing isn't really alive anyway, so I'm gonna punch it with a punishing strike,
Okay.
which is a spell.
Okay.
18 plus
Automatically hits.
7 or something.
That's fine. It automatically hits because I say so. Because things happen.
So
Things never stop happening.
Cure wounds. What the fuck?
Mass cure wounds. Lightning strike.
Check out my punch really quick because my punch actually does things.
That was one of the most brutal unshackled events
Yeah,
that
that
we
was-
did
that
before we started recording. Just like the mass cure wounds turning into a lightning
Lightning
strike.
Yeah.
That was really bad.
Chain, it was like chain
So
lightning.
that's
essentially.
4
Damn near killed me.
bludgeoning. And because we're level 5 now, my
Oh, does it do extra
punishing
damage?
strike goes off at the
Ye-
beginning
Oh.
with an 8 necrotic damage, so all the black veins come and start bursting, and there's blood everywhere
From who?
from him.
Oh, what?
There's oil everywhere.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's no blood.
Fucking Tin Man.
Yeah, it's like, where is this blood coming from?
From
This is alarming.
Doesn't have a heart.
We're in a horror movie now.
The suit of armor starts bleeding.
Where the metal
What?
cracks, it just bleeds.
Oh no, it was alive.
Yeah, that would have some very
That would really
strange
That
implications.
would really upset me.
Just an orc
Um,
inside.
Just the tiniest little orc.
Yeah.
So on a scale of 1 to like 40, how's everybody feeling?
1 to 40.
20?
Um,
On a scale of 1 to 30.
12.
I don't understand the scale. Is this like rate your pain?
Yes. On a scale of like straight face to like screaming, mouth open.
I'm gritting my
Horror.
teeth.
Des is looking great.
With your 12 out of 40, you're gritting your teeth. Well, now I'm joking.
Des is just gonna call out, "Girl, I'm good."
I'm gonna cast a level 3 healing word
Okay.
at Whisper.
Okay.
I'll just grab my tattoo and
What's the word?
murmur a quick prayer. to Grumsh.
What is the word?
Praise be to Grumsh. I mean,
Okay, that's fine. Your spell goes off without a hitch.
It's not fireball.
2,
Not this
5,
time.
7 plus 4, 11 points.
Thank you.
It's not this time.
For the next round, it becomes
A delayed fireball.
a delayed fireball.
That's
And
that's deep. That's demonic. That you've given me that idea.
Delayed meteor strike.
Was that my-
Delayed shackle is actually kind of a fun idea.
Yeah, you've
John.
you've done it.
terrible.
Why?
Was that my full 30 movement?
Yes.
You healed them, and then now you're sapping Twister.
Yep.
All good. That's my turn.
That's nice.
That'd be terrible.
All right, that's the end of your turn.
Yeah.
Before Des takes her next turn, you hear a deafening crash from that direction as Yasadi baseball swings her giant draconic mace into the door to the room adjacent to yours.
The ones that connected
Yeah.
behind the animated armor.
Like to the point where like little bits of rock actually fly out and hit Whisper in it like clinks and clanks off of her armor. And just to give you like it's the same size. So this door fragments fly across the entire room, across the well into Whisper. So she fucking hammer this door.
I'm
And you-
a little busy. Thank you.
She can't hear you. She's like 100 feet the other direction.
It's just the, like, pelted.
Yeah. You can, however, hear the distinctive voices of Yasadi, Korost, and Ace.
Ace.
And, like, you can't quite make out what they're saying, but Yasadi seems about as upset as she always is when you guys see her, to be fair. You don't hear Korost. He doesn't seem to be too intent on speaking. And Ace is just trying to be the happy, chipper leader that he normally is. You can kind of hear him try and soothe Yasadi's rage.
Is it gonna be awkward for you when the two of them meet each other?
No, I would be awkward.
I mean, sometimes.
You said you would nothing.
It is Dez's turn whenever she is ready.
Dez.
I mean,
Is
I'm all up for,
currently-
multi-parties, but you didn't have them together before, so.
I need to get to a place where I can actually shoot.
Yeah, where would you like to go?
Live it up.
Change that.
Did we say that it was half cover if I'm like diagonal between the two and shooting through?
Mm-hmm. It would have half cover.
Okay.
If you're trying to shoot through your friends, like they're all trying to like dodge
Just
you,
move a
right?
hair bit that way.
Yeah, move me kind of left of Addie.
Like right here?
No, like kind of directly left of Addie.
Like right here.
I know it's not the best, but I also want to give Jonas like
Cover?
the ability to move.
Okay. I'm just gonna drape it around you because it's getting a little
It's fine.
It's just a square
it's getting a little chummy in there. No,
Um,
it's not your fault. It just is what's happening.
so Dez is going to use a force bolt and then a net bolt and then a piercing bolt.
Okay. So it will take the strength check first. Fails.
Nice. Yeah.
So that's so that is some damage.
Yeah.
It's looking pretty bad.
Oh wait, what am I doing? I gotta.
It's looking
actually
beat to hell.
roll freaking dice.
And you've got that super cool feat that allows you to ignore reloading. So.
That is really
That's
good, by
pretty
the way.
That is a really nice feat. Think about it.
Just
Which one's
a
that?
bit.
Is that the firearms?
So
Or no,
I got a 12 and I got
And
a
crossbow expert.
Yeah, that's what it is.
19.
You got a what?
12 and a 19.
Let me see that one.
Imagine being a suit of armor made of 12.
12 does not hit. A 19 well.
Well,
So what does what?
alright, so because of the way I said it, it has to be net bolt misses, piercing bolt hits.
Okay.
As much as I hate it,
And how many piercing damage does it do?
it's gonna do my 2d6 real quick.
Yeah, and that bolt will, the piercing bolt will do the hunter's mark damage as well. So yeah.
Yeah.
Just so you were
7 piercing. So
7 piercing, so that takes 3 damage, and then how much force damage?
oh right, I didn't even roll the 4. I didn't roll that. I forgot I even had that in there.
I'm helping you out.
7.
7. All right. Whisper's up now.
Sound.
Question is, how distracted is Whisper by her boyfriend?
Not
And a
enough.
girlfriend.
Well,
I've been getting beat up. It's not enough to make me turn my back on the fucking thing that keeps hitting me.
It's fair. It's fair and valid.
So, doing the math, is Whisper smart enough?
Mhm.
She decides that even if it is resistant to stabbing, Harley's doing a little bit more than kicking it in the face.
Mhm.
So, I'm gonna stab it. So that's a...
Yeah.
2 18s plus 6, 24s.
Yeah, that'll do it. 24s will in fact hit.
Okie doke.
You'll
So
have
I'll
to
roll my
get
2d8s.
Even though it's
It's a 7 and a 2 plus 12. 21 with my giant woman damage. 6, 27.
27 damage.
Woo.
Even cut in half, that's still pretty good. So I'll take 13 damage. And as you kind of stab through it, you like the hole that that Shapash kind of made with her bolt, kind of like you stab through that and just kind of scrape along the inside, and you can feel like the leather that makes up the inside of that armor shred as it just kind of falls to the ground.
Yeah, as soon as I felt it go through and hit insides, there was a giant hand that came in to really give me leverage.
Nice. All right, so you just tear through it with just brute strength on your rapier.
Yeah.
Which
Ooh.
you can feel the rapier kind of strain under how much pressure you're putting in it from like steel on like much thinner steel, but it pulls through. It kind of just shreds it about and tears in half.
And then I make a point of throwing it in the direction that the rocks came.
Dez is gonna kind of chirp and be like, "You sure you're of the first water? Because you really gutted that pig."
All right. Well, next up is Ace and Yasadi's turn.
Wait,
Who?
hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Yeah. Who go up and approach the altar on the opposite side, even as the discarded bits of armor are thrown across towards them. There's a couple like excellents like, oh, what is that? And as they go up to examine it, Yasadi and Ace will kind of like pick up each half and be like, oh wow, they really did a number on this thing. Korost will approach the altar and he sees a little censer and he's kind of like looks at it curiously and he picks it up, and as he does so, a mist pours out of it. More, and then he kind of like drops it. He's like, fuck, and he like swears in Draconic as the energy pours out of the censer and kind of like drifts over into the armor and kind of infuses into it more and more and more, and you can see like a little, like you guys, if you guys are, anyone who's looking will see a small amount of water form over the bits of armor, and then more water and more water and more water.
And it starts healing-ish.
Healing is a word.
Transforming or something.
And as the water kind of pools upward, kind of defying gravity, you see little icicle bits form along it as it grows and grows. As an icy scimitar forms out of this water elemental, its armor not necessarily protecting it so much, but floating on the outside of it. You see two green burning eyes in the glowering at Korost as a water elemental has now formed out of the censer of water elemental summoning on the opposite side.
Absolute wanker!
You
This
kind
is
of
the actual face Whisper's making.
you kind of hear Korost like say, "I'm sorry," but like
Motherfucker.
in Draconic.
For funsies and for flavor, I'm gonna say that I say a Draconic idiom / insult that like literally translates to something stupid, but like the meaning is keep your fucking hands to yourself. It's a thing they say to kids. And she'll hiss that real fast.
Korost is just, if you're, I assume you're looking over at them so you can
Yeah.
see them. Korost is just kind of like head down, hood over his, like as he's gripping his staff.
I'm gonna have to kill again.
Would Jonas being on like a border plane to the water elemental plane, would he have some knowledge? I mean, I'm assuming. Obviously, he's seen water elementals.
He's
before.
absolutely seen water elementals before.
So would he be able to warn them of like immunities or whatever they might have? Or
Yeah, you would know about him for sure.
okay.
You want me to tell you which one?
Yeah. Sorry.
So it has
Can't remember if it's
damage.
cold.
damage resistance to acid, and then bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage from non-magical
Non-magical.
attacks.
Okay.
I gave you, because before this was only a suit of armor, that bludgeoning attacks did full damage. Now
Yeah.
they will not, because
Okay.
there's water kind of pushing
So
it.
Jonas will relay the
It is also
damage.
and it is also immune to poison damage.
Yeah.
It's also immune to paralyzed, petrified, poisoned, and prone.
Okay.
So yes.
So Jonas will like say that and be like, they can be quite nasty.
Okay, I'll just have you,
Yeah.
as a
just
free action,
regurgitate
you
it. Yeah.
regurgitate that information I just gave you. That's
Yeah.
fine. It's like, appreciated, sir, and you can kind of hear him slash around his great sword as it goes, and then you hear you hear a good old swing as it goes through the elemental and hits into the armor.
And he won't be as technical. He'll literally just say like, weapons seem to not do as much damage
Mhm.
against these, and acid seems to do nothing. Do just very little.
Alright, he does damage. Even if it is resisted, because he does not have a magical sword, unfortunately.
I forgot about my defensive duelist feat.
Don't forget about that next time.
Sheesh.
Well, we're at next time.
Shapash, who is still hiding, is like, "What's going on, guys? What happened?
Hey, can you shoot it?
Can I shoot what?"
It is a water elemental. Can you shoot it? That'd be
She's
really
gonna kind
cool.
of like, "Are you fucking serious?" 5, 10, 15, 25, 30. She can't quite see the water elemental where she's from, because that would mean she would be able to see through you, through a small opening, another small opening, and then like 30 feet into a room. So she can't quite see it. She's like, in a minute, as she like reloads.
Good enough.
Okay, and that actually, she'll do that. She'll move over, and then she'll use her dash action 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And that'll be her turn. Next up is the water elemental, who is having a great time. Sorry, 1 second. Now, it gets 3 attacks.
Oh, yummy.
Do we need to add figures for the other 3?
We will when we get there.
Okay. Because they were near the armor, weren't they? Or...
Yes, but they're on the opposite. They're all near the armor, but they are on the opposite side. And
Gotcha.
like, this armor is actually not here anymore. So we'll.
I like
just-
how I threw the armor like 60 feet.
Yeah, you're a giant woman, and it's just a cuirass. It's not like a full set of armor.
Just went.
Yeah, just yeeted it. Right, so it takes all 3 of its attack against Ace, who is able to kind of like parry, and then like one of it gets through the parry, but glances off the armor as he kind of like leans against it, and it just it makes a little bit of a grindy sound of like ice against steel, but otherwise he's unharmed. And it's Jean's turn.
So I can't. How far away is it from me? Or...
It's over here, so it's you're here. Like you can't see it,
Okay.
so you're only like the only reason you would know that it's water elemental is because Whisper would have told you.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's over here.
Okay. I'll climb up the steps to be next to.
Okay, that's gonna be 5, 10.
Okay, and I'll shoot a fireball at it.
You cannot see it from here.
Oh,
the
okay.
opening is like right here, like right where
Oh,
Whisper
shit.
is.
Okay.
So like you could 10, 15, 20, 25 try and shoot it from here because like you can't quite like you can try and squeeze through that opening if you like.
Yeah.
But that's going to be difficult terrain. So you'd be able to do 5 into it, and then you'd essentially be standing inside the well.
I'll go back where I was. I'm gonna let them clear like that area. Get them.
So you're going to hold your turn?
Yeah, because I'm more of a distance right now.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Audie's turn then. If Jonas is holding it.
Sure. Oh, that's cool. I can see it. Yes, maybe.
You can see something is happening. You can't quite see it clearly. Because again, this is where the opening is, and you're right here. So like it's not quite. You have to be able to see like here, but it does throw a wall.
If I move behind Whisper, can I see it?
Sure. She's giant. You can probably see it through her legs.
Yeah.
Sweet. Hot.
Which I mean, isn't that's the dream, right?
Being between my legs.
Yeah,
Yeah, a
exactly.
little bit. A little bit.
So, although now it's farther than 30 feet from me, which it was anyway, right?
It is farther than 30 feet from you. Yes. It is about 50 feet from your exact position.
I'm gonna go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And cast Bless,
Okay.
which would be on my 3 buddies.
Okay. Goes off without a hitch. So there's 3 of you now have Bless. So make sure that next time you take any attacks
You no
or
longer have the shield.
is it ability checks or is it ability saves?
Do you use it once?
No,
or-
it's a continuous
You
thing.
can add the number to an attack or saving throw.
Saving throw. Okay.
Yeah, but it's not like.
Any attack or saving throw.
For a minute, I believe.
Okay, but I mean, like, if I make 3 attacks in a turn, is
Yeah.
that
Each one.
Okay, I forgot if that was the case.
Bless is pretty good.
I sure like it.
Yippers. That's that one. And then, because I'm near Whisper, I'm gonna go ahead and smack her on the shoulder and tell her that she's a fucking amazing warrior. And I'm
You're gonna hit her where?
on her shoulder.
Where? Who you're gonna hit on the shoulder?
Whisper?
Who's
Right in
10
front.
feet
Giant?
tall.
On her.
Shit.
Yes,
I'll
I-
smack my ass.
You're
Sure.
first of all, you are currently a bit lower than her to begin
Sure,
with.
I smack your booty.
There you go.
And I tell you, you're amazing, and you can do this, and you get some temporary hit points.
When she sees you slap Whisper on the ass, she'll possibly be like, "Yeah, give it to her."
6
She likes
temporary
it.
hit points, which will go away after a round.
Oh, for one of them.
So not only am I in this absurdly wet environment, but apparently you're airing your dirty laundry too.
Yeah. Welcome to the city, boy. City girl. Welcome to the city. We just fuck and we talk about it. We talk about our feelings too. We communicate.
Yeah.
Communication is key.
Yeah, I'm sad.
Welcome to the city.
We talk about our feelings.
We also talk about our food.
I may be wrong, but I think picking up the sensor was a bad idea.
Maybe. I will tell.
And now I feel angry.
I feel anger.
What is this? Anger? I feel angry.
All right.
And there's a
So
30%
there
chance
was
it's
a
already reading.
we did have a thing where Jean is hit with a firebolt, and it was like white hot, and I was basically using that as an excuse to get rid of its damage reduction because it was being like vulnerable. That kind of went out the door when it got ripped in half and thrown across the room and then filled with water. So it no longer has that particular debuff.
Okay, literally went out the door.
Exactly. Speaking of going out the door, it's Dez's turn.
Hey, okay, I'm gonna position myself.
Shoot between my legs.
Yeah, pretty,
Yeah.
pretty much. No.
10.
Wait, hold on. Oh, what?
That's not you.
Like,
Alright, so we're going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and I'll give you
My hair get
a
caught in your
30.
metal.
I'll give you a 30 if you can, because like this is a 6-foot high pedestal. So if you want to jump and shoot, I'll give you the ability to do that with disadvantage if you like.
Bad Diz, what you gonna do?
What you gonna do when you gotta shoot?
Well done. That's pretty good.
jump and shoot for 3 shots?
Only 2 shots.
Double
Because I'm well, no, you can jump twice, I guess. Just like a little bunny hop. Yeah. Like, cool, sure.
It's kind of badass, actually.
I'll let you. I'll allow it because you do have the ability to make 3 attacks. So make 3 attacks.
Do the half covered. Here's a roll.
Actually, you
Not
know, what,
blessed.
you know what I'll say you're doing as like you're like as you're running. I'll let you shooting, and then like the last little bit, you'll like jump up and like shoot. So like it's as you're running, you're shooting. As opposed to running the entire way and then doing 2 little bunny hops, like we're playing GoldenEye or something.
Like we're playing. Alright, so first attack, worst is the 19.
Worst is a 19 to hit.
Yeah.
Remember
The
that
19 will
plus
not
4
hit.
though.
Yeah. Well, I know the 19 will hit, so I don't have to do it.
It will not hit.
19 won't hit.
Roll
It
that plus
won't.
4.
I'm rolling the plus 4. You made me do this.
You just always
You
roll that
made
plus
me
I did
do
make you,
this.
I'm making you do it.
Is it 1 per turn?
You can
22.
roll it every time
22
you
will
make
hit.
an attack.
Okay, let's try it again.
Yeah, it's stronger now.
This is what I wanted to
Nope.
use. In
Is
the
it-
I'm gonna go
battle,
say
but
nope.
I couldn't.
Humanoid now?
Because you guys are too low level.
The Myrmidon.
Yeah.
This is a buff Myrmidon.
You guys are in Fury Gale.
Is it a humanoid now?
No, it's still an element.
Another 22. Nice.
All right. 2 hits.
All right.
And these are all
Just regular
regular
standard.
attacks. And I'm gonna say that it still has your Hunter's Mark because it's still the same creature type.
Thank you. See, I was gonna ask that, and you already mentioned it. You know, this is just you know, we like to talk about these
We like
things in the city.
Talk about our
Brown,
feelings in the
what is
city.
in the
exactly.
city. In the city, we like to talk about these things.
Exactly. What
What's
about our
that leather
Hunter's Mark
taste?
is coming?
Yeah. What?
John's asked you if you had brown on your nose.
Yeah.
I asked you
was
how the-
Firm ignoring.
Schmoozes
And
the PM.
And I
What
asked
can
you
I
how
say?
leather
Do you need a
tastes.
refill?
Mm.
Schmooze, you say?
That's a pretty damn good roll. I'm not gonna put myself.
Schmooze away.
All right, so I got 21.
21 will not hit.
Ah, son of a bitch.
All that damage you just did is gone.
Well, 22s will hit. 21 will.
For the damage?
Oh, for the damage. I thought it was for it. No, my bad. My
I was
bad.
like, you have
My-
to make at least
my-
22 damage,
My
or it's all gone.
my super bad. Alright, so 22 damage
Well,
altogether.
now we
That'd
know
be a
the
mean
AC.
That would be a mean monster, by the way. You have to do a certain there's a minimum amount of damage you have to do before it counts.
There is
Isn't
such a
that what
thing.
we
It's
run
called,
into
it's called
in-
having damage reduction.
Oh.
Isn't that what we run into in Lancer?
A little bit.
Well, because of armor.
Armor does that, yeah.
Yeah, it's a little different. So yeah, 21 damage you said?
Yeah.
All piercing?
Yeah, all piercing.
Mundane piercing, I'm imagining.
Yeah.
So we'll cut that in half. Which means
I mean, unless you count Hunter's Mark to be well, no, that doesn't really do anything.
the way that Hunter's Mark works for me is that it adds the same type of damage that you're doing as what you did.
Yeah, it's more just in my head. It was always like just kind of like honing your like.
Yeah, it's like you know how to aim so well that your damage does a little bit more than it should.
Yeah, I was picturing the vital spot. It hits more of a
Exactly.
Vital spot.
Yeah.
Exactly. Which it doesn't really make much sense in this scenario,
Like-
but it's a spell,
Yeah.
it's magic, fuck it.
It's
Big
fucking
Buck
high.
Hunter vital spot.
Yeah. Okay, so next up is Whisper.
Okay.
You're gonna have a little bit of trouble fitting through this opening because the opening is about 10 feet by 10 feet, and you're larger than
And I'm large, so 10 feet by 10 feet.
that. Okay, but okay. I'm thinking like a doorway, so like
4 feet?
like
By
maybe like
7?
6 feet by 8 feet.
Shoot at the duck like crazy.
Okay. Let me tell you what I want to do, and you
Just
tell me
break
what
it.
I gotta roll.
That sounds exactly like how I like playing Dungeons and Dragons.
I want to
Fuck shit up.
run through the door as best I can, get to the other side using the rope,
Mhm.
and dash to the other dragonborn.
You have to swing across a big hole?
You don't have to swing across it, but if she wants to, I'm not going to dissuade her.
Good.
Make an athletics check to do that.
Do you have advantage on strength stuff?
I do. On strength. Hold on.
Checks.
Phaser checks.
So many rules.
So many rules. Being a giant woman has its own set.
I have advantage on strength checks and strength
Nice.
saving throws.
Yep, athletics.
Yeah, so both. There you go. Make another check.
A natural 20.
Okay, so needless to say, you accomplished your goals. All right, so this is what I'm picturing for you. So like you kind of like football kind of set, and then lunge forward. Use the rope for leverage as you like kind of like swing feet first into the other one, and just kind of like. Is there anything you want to do like spectacular? Like you want like a dramatic flair for this? Because a natural 20, I feel like you deserve to kind of play it out as you want to.
Give some embellishments.
Yeah, do whatever you want, because natural 20, I'm not going to stand in the way of.
Give us the flavor.
Okay.
Plug
I
and
have
play,
some flavor.
tripping.
Ha!
But that's the thing. That's the thing.
It never gets called. I know.
Not
What
on-
if I slide in like a baseball player feet first,
Mhm.
Stick
get
back.
up, do my dash, and fucking knock that motherfucker prone?
Stick puck.
I will
Baseball.
tell you this because Giannis did give you this
Can't do that.
information. It cannot be prone.
I cannot.
It is a thing of water.
Yeah, just kind
There
of.
is-
It's good.
It looks like a humanoid shape, but
Sorry.
its actual consistency is water, so it could look like there's no way to knock it over.
Not a
It would
cool-
look sick as hell, though, because you would basically be running straight through it.
Yeah, I'll run straight through it. Fuck it.
Awesome, I love it. All right,
Just like dum 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 doof
make
at 10 feet tall.
Make an attack roll with advantage.
Nat 20 coming
And a
through.
+4.
I love rewarding natural 20s when people do silly shit. It's great.
Okay.
What's that for?
And you can add your proficiency to this.
Oh yeah.
So like strength plus proficiency, like as if you're using like a weapon you're proficient with.
Okie dokie. So that is. Hold on, I can do math. 23.
Alright.
23 to hit? It does hit, as we've established before. Alright, so I'm going to let you do 2d10 force damage. Like, it's going to be a bludgeoning damage, but it will not get resistance to this particular one. Because I think this is sick. So I'm rule of cooling it into no resistance for this one.
Rule of cool.
11.
11 damage, alright.
Zoltan. Cool.
You want to bounce Zoltan cool?
Zoltan. Cool.
Sultan cool.
Zoltan cool.
Salt
Alright.
and pepper.
So, it is now coming up to Ace and Yasadi's turn, so I will need to pause and redo the battle map a little.
Got you.
Ah, that was an outrage.
Alright.
Oh.
And we've
Oh shit.
we've switched the routes a bit. So
Sweet Shibu.
basically, we just saw, or these three Dragonborn just saw a very large Dragonborn come through and absolutely steamroll this water elemental, who explodes into a bunch of droplets and then kind of like falls to the ground, reabsorbs into itself. It takes it about, a second or two. But while that is happening, because that's the end of that, it is Ace's turn first, who will take his... He'll just kind of like... kind of hack at it with his greatsword, because he's not quite sure if he's going to do damage while it's kind of like amorphous. He's going to try anyway. He hits one. That's 3 damage. Something though. You can kind
Every
of...
hit counts.
It does.
That's what
Every
it's
little
called.
bit of damage helps. And so after...
3 with your modifier?
What's that?
3 with the modifier?
A modifier.
Modifier from your strength or dex or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, he rolled 2 1s on his greatsword,
Whoa.
Oh.
Woof.
which plus 3 to his strength is 6. And my half is 3.
Oh, got you. Oh, half down to 3.
Yeah.
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
That makes more sense then.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah, I was like, Ace using the wrong sword.
He just rolled
So he has a
badly.
great sword, so he uses.
He uses a greatsword.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. He looks like he wields it pretty quickly too. Or like,
Well, he's got boots of haste,
So he
Okay.
does everything.
so he does everything very fast. And, like he actually.
not
Like,
everything.
all right.
Depends.
Well,
It
anyway,
lasts longer than Shapash.
that's for them to figure out. Next up is Yusari, who will two-handed right above her just smash down onto the.
Yusari is this one right here, right?
Yes.
Okay.
She's going to basically move up, push
push through the.
Koras out of the way, and just smash it like she's trying to crush a can with a sledgehammer.
Needs to be disabled. Back in the day.
So you see it, and it kind of goes through the water elemental. It doesn't seem to do much in the way of that, but it does smash the step underneath as it kind of crumbles, and it becomes difficult terrain to stand on. And they basically destroyed the step that it was on. You can kind of see it kind of like almost dripping off, but unnaturally kind of curling back in on itself as it kind of maintains its surface tension. And Korast will kind of look at the two of his companions and then look at the giant woman who just looked and like, and he'll cast Bless on his companions as well, and himself. And it goes off. So now everyone's blessed. Next up is Shapash, who will be like, that was hot as fuck. And she'll chase after as well, so that's 5, 10, 15, 30. And then take a. At this point, the water elemental has got most of its form, so she will 2 shots with her crossbows. Both of them hit, but they don't do damage as they are kind of absorbed into the water elemental, and like you can just see her 2 bolts kind of floating in its body after that. And she's just like, "See, now I feel bad," and she kind of like looks to Des, like, "See, now you can make a joke about it."
Lips are sealed.
We'll see about that. She kind of winks at you.
Jessica kind of like a little flustered, like just like definitely blushing.
Nice.
So you see the appeal.
Shut up.
You can't see this.
No.
You
But
just
it's
you
funny.
just football tackle the water elemental.
Yeah. Because I'm huge.
Very true. All right. So we've got we're gonna go 1 to each person in front of it, and it's gonna be doing its magical cold attacks. So first one against Yusari misses as she kind of like blocks it with her giant draconic mace. They kind of just have a little battle for like half a second before the trident, his scimitar comes back up, reforms into a trident, and he stabs it towards Ace.
Is it like an ever-changing water, essentially? Like
It's made of ice, but like
Okay.
it'll reform, become
That's
the
so
water,
cool.
and then ice up again in a different form.
harden it up.
Yeah,
That's cool.
because I think
Ah.
that's cool.
Water
Yeah,
bending.
I like that.
Alright, so that's 21, which will hit Ace. He'll take 13 damage altogether as it kind of pierces into his shoulder, and then kind of, you can see like, I want to say calcified, 'cause it's not calcified, but it's like the blood around that wound kind of freezes and congeals, and he rips it out, and the little bits of blood come out.
Congeals the word.
The next one will be towards Whisper, who you've turned around and looked at this point, so I'm not going to give you like disadvantage or anything like that. 14 plus, I want to say 7. Yes.
What if it matches?
Hits.
And then it hits.
Shit.
Do you
What
want to
is
use
that
Defensive Duelist?
Defensive duelist made it match.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
With Shield of Faith as well?
I can only
don't have
have
that
bless or shield of faith. Concentration.
I
Oh.
switched to Bless, so you can't actually.
So I used my defensive duelist to put me to 21. If I was in shield of faith and defensive duelist, it would have been 23.
So sorry.
But
23?
Alright, so that is 3 plus So 3 piercing damage and 6 cold damage before
So
resistance.
6.
Yes. All right. Let's go to anything? No. No, that's it. Okay. Jonas' turn.
Okay. I'm going to run up through the door.
So
At 30
there was
feet.
a thing. So let's say that was 10, 15, 30. So you're inside the well. You can
Okay.
see out. You can see like the water elemental, but
Yeah,
you're,
I
you're basically standing
block
in the well.
everybody though, so I'm going to use my turn to dash.
Okay.
What I'm going to do.
Okay.
And
That's where-
move me at just a full 30 going that ish way.
5, 10, 15,
I don't want to be adjacent.
20, so 25, 30, like that?
Yep, perfect.
All right.
Let me just double check something, make sure.
Absolutely.
Just making sure I don't have any bonus actions I should use. Nope, that will end my turn. And
Okay.
I'm just gonna kind of, spin my trident ready to
Okay.
go.
Absolutely. Audie's turn is up next.
Right. I'm gonna get closer.
So you're here. So you are 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
I'm within 30 feet of it now, right?
Correct.
I'm gonna cast blindness on it.
Is that a
'cause
concentration?
It's not.
Okay, cool. You're good.
That would be a Constitution saving throw.
I will have you make a Constitution saving throw.
Roll.
It is again pretty good at these. It is a suit of armor. Yeah, that's a 20.
Yeah, that works. Just a bit.
Also, it's not a suit of armor. It is elemental, but they're still pretty good.
That does it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Those savers suck. So they're really good, or they make you feel like you've wasted an entire spell slot.
And that would be my turn. So.
Well, that brings us up to the top where Dez is ready to go.
Dez is ready to get into the action.
Yeah.
Put me next to.
Get in the thick of it.
Oh wait, who's that? Who's that?
This is Audie.
Audie and then
Yes,
This
this
is
is put me next to Adi.
Alright, so it's 15, 20, 25, 30.
All right, girl. I'm gonna try to make you proud.
You always make me proud, no matter what.
The Bruvs.
All right.
Brotherhood is
Start with-
important.
It's gonna be all the same bolt. So all the standard bolt.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, that's not gonna do it. Actually, I'm gonna use my metal. Metal die. That might. Does a 21 hit? 21?
It is not, unfortunately.
I think we learned 22 is the AC.
We did.
Yeah.
So like it goes in and you can hear it basically make a loud clank against the armor, but it just bounces back and almost
Ricochet.
outside. It bounces out of the water elemental.
Like
That'll
our
hit.
favorite and least favorite goalie,
Alright.
goalpost.
Yeah, basically.
23.
Ding.
23. 23 will hit.
At least one gets in.
Those are your creamsicles?
I love them.
Oh, that's
That
a.
was good.
Mhm.
That was a good ass roll.
That'll be 15.
Yeah, he rolled
15
two
damage.
Yeah, he rolled 2 6s.
Okay. So that's 7 damage altogether with the resistances, which is still pretty freaking good.
Like at least one got in.
Yep.
Damn.
All right. Well, that was 3 attacks. 2 attacks.
One
He
miss.
did all of them. It just they didn't hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a 21, a 23, and a.
The other one was like a 6.
Oh, okay. You
So
just
I was,
tell me. That's fine.
just
Okay.
saying.
I was like, I don't know.
Didn't bother the details.
Yeah, I didn't bother.
That's fair. I mean, you guys know the AC in a bit now, so I mean.
He got swallowed by that soup.
Yeah, that's all.
Soup.
That's all I got.
Horse Campbell.
Yeah, poor
I like
Soup
him,
was
though.
right. Campbell was fun.
We respect goalies in this house.
It's true. Except Darcy Campbell.
Well, I just want to make him work. I respect him.
That's fair enough. Anyway, all set. All right, Whisper's turn.
Send it.
I'm gonna stab twice. I rolled really
Ooh, that's
bad,
pretty
Bob.
nice.
Stibbity stab.
Yeah, Stibbity didn't stab, but one of them's a natural 1.
All right, reroll that.
18.
Yeah, you're fine.
Both of them definitely miss.
Well, it's not so much that they miss; it's that they just kind of go straight through them without it really seeming to care.
Yeah, because one of them was a 7, the other, no, a 10, and the other was a 14.
All right, I'm actually going to say that the critical miss, you did just miss the elemental entirely, and then you came back and stabbed it through, but it just kind of like you could tell when you ran it over that you hit it, and this one just kind of feels like you're hitting air, like it just kind of passes straight through.
I'm so sad about this wasted turn. Alright.
Right after Whisper's turn, you feel the
My cantrips.
temple once again start to shake, but this time really shake. Like everybody make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh,
Oh, fuck.
bitch.
Alright, I'm not good at those.
Sweet. Still fine. There's no guides inside.
Jonas is my blue die. Oh, hey, that's literally the second best roll I could have.
Can't confirm. Everybody have a roll?
19 for me.
Okay, you fail.
A
natural
it was a
one.
1. Oh,
Okay.
That's not just a fail, sir.
Yeah, that's
Ma'am.
something bad's gonna happen to you.
23!
23. All right.
23.
11. Okay. So
Dexterity, dump stats.
Korast trips, falls off of the dais and is prone, as does Yasani. Ace kind of almost does, but he shoves his sword into the ground and kind of steadies
Yes.
himself, so he's okay.
Third leg.
Oh no.
Oh.
Straighten out that fourth leg.
Anyway,
Straighten out that fourth leg.
wow.
That was the best thing you could say to me, Nate. Josh.
All right. So, wait. Adi as well falls prone.
Yellow bait.
That's so good.
Shapash as well falls prone, unfortunately.
This goes
Which I
flying
was surprised
30
about
feet
because
into
her
the air.
dexterity score is pretty high. Unfortunate.
So worried. What is that?
And then
Prone people.
Des not only falls prone, but a rock falls and hits her in the face.
Oh, damn it!
And she takes 10 damage.
Oh my god, did you max the roll?
Yeah, I maxed the roll.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Nick.
You essentially fell 10 feet. That's what that roll is.
Yeah, well,
A 1d10.
oh shit! Oh god!
You know, I would keep lying here, but this godforsaken wet temple. I cannot be here a moment longer.
It's a soggy temple.
This waterlogged hellhole.
Ace, instead of using his turn to attack, will turn to help up Yasadi.
I just switched it back to the map.
He's a bro.
Next thing it's just a bunch of bodies.
Oh wait, actually, I just realized I do have to technically make a Constitution save for my concentration spell.
Ah, true.
Nothing proves of
It'll just be a 10.
Alright, I
My
passed.
dad
I got a
likes to
15.
call that song
Okay.
Time
Base.
to Count.
Time to count.
Technically,
One.
wait, people, who's counting?
1.
1!
Oh,
Ooh, your
throat is parched. Anyway. He will do that, and then he'll use the Boots of Haste to make his second attack.
Second attack. You say second attack or second dick?
Second dick.
I
Second dick.
gotta make my second dick.
Uh,
When you
he,
come level 5, you can do second dick.
he slashes through, but a lot like the stabbing attack that Whisper just did, it kind of passes through without affecting the water elemental too much.
Okay.
Well, shit.
Yasadi is
Depressing.
Well, is she depressing? She'll kind of like jump, like almost over Ace, and then try once again to smash the elemental.
Sure. This one smash.
She just wants to smash.
Girls just want to smash.
Like, as she's going down, the water elemental basically splits in half. Both, and the curious I was torn in half also splits along it. As her mace just comes through, and then it comes back together.
And you can Jones.
Yeah, and you can just see Yasadi's face just like seething. Like if it was possible for a silver dragonborn to turn red, that's what she would be looking like right now.
Jesus Christ, same girl.
Yeah, she is anger.
That metal's heating up.
Koras will use half of his movement speed to get up and then kind of hobble his way up. He's not he's got some issues. But he will cast Firebolt.
What is this man doing here?
He's the thinker.
You're like the team up.
You guys are being extremely rude to my black dragonborn little boy, and I do not appreciate
Listen.
it.
He's the one that went touching shit.
He was cute. Okay, you're right though.
To be
Wait a
fair,
minute.
when do we not
Is
touch
he a
shit?
baby or is he an old man?
He's not old
We,
man.
we do not know he's
I
an
thought
old
he-
man. His bones crack, but we do not know.
You've never heard his bones crack.
Oh, you described it, so I wasn't sure.
I described him as frail.
Oh.
So he's not, but he's not old man.
He's
Okay,
just a sickly child.
He's
I got old from frail.
he's
Yeah,
he's not-
I got old too. I kept thinking of
No,
him
you
as
can,
like 300.
you've seen his face. He is not old.
Okay.
Just has a medical condition.
He's just,
He's just got PDS.
We're terrible people.
Well, I feel like I should.
anyway. He does 5. He does 5 fire damage to the water elemental.
Whatever it is.
I feel like an asshat now.
It's, he's not old. He's just frail. Even
Like a
more.
flat dick
Making
prospect
fun of
now.
old people is worse than is not as bad as
Way to
sickly
make me feel
people.
like a flat dragon.
I know. If you think about it, you're making fun of someone who's disabled.
I know.
You're not even thinking about it. That is what you're doing.
That's what you are doing.
You don't even think about it really that much.
We're fucking monsters.
Real thinker.
Pull back the rings.
Pull
Now.
the shit. Right.
Pull back in the
I
biscuit.
legit thought he was old.
In
though.
the
Not gonna lie.
that's on me then.
I did too. I'm not
That
gonna lie. Yeah.
that I didn't describe him well enough.
I
when
think
did
honestly, I
it.
just think it was the voice because it was like kind of ruffled.
It was raspy.
So I just immediately like I'm thinking hunched, ruffle. I'm thinking
Yeah.
typical bad guy, You know, hooded figure.
Hooded figure.
Man, I definitely wasn't going for that.
Yeah. I got old, wise beyond his years, kind of like
Yeah, a
frail,
sage, if
a
you
sa-
will.
a sage of some sort.
Yeah.
I was definitely
Not
I've
quite
come
Master
from the
Roshi,
ancient-
but
I've seen many a century go by, and I'm here to warn you of an
Now
inevitability. A thing I've been protecting for millennia.
in reality we're just assholes.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
reality,
Yeah.
we're all just dicks.
Thanks for sharing that, guys.
Thanks.
Yeah. Again, I
Thanks,
blame myself
Andrew.
for not describing
Well, I
it
blame
accurately.
myself.
You know what? I blame you.
But yeah,
What do they say about assuming?
because like Koras he's not though he's not as large as Ace, but he's not small.
Okay.
He's
But
not.
he is hunched, right?
He kind of has a bit of a hunch to him. Yes, as you've seen. Right now though, he's standing up pretty straight.
I would
He's
say
not like
he's
hunched
really
over now.
competent.
He's standing up, but he's just kind of like and he throws his staff forward.
Okay.
He
And
just had trouble climbing up a wet stair.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it'd be like that, and then he just fell down.
Hey, I see a bunch of people on the ground right now.
Yeah, so like just lay off him a little bit. Why don't you?
Your sea legs.
Is this a character trait you gave him because you made his constitution a dump stat?
No, his constitution was a dump stat because I made this character.
Okay.
I had the character
There's
in
a
mind.
story-driven reason to it, I'm guessing. Or
Yes.
a character-driven reason.
Yeah, all of the characters that I've made for this have been. I had this idea. I rolled stats for them, and this is what, and I distributed
based
them
on that.
appropriately.
That's fair.
That's the end of his turn, though. It means it's Shapash's turn, who shows about the most energy you've seen since you've seen her, as she kind of like does a little kip up, takes out like 'cause she kind of dropped her crossbow, so she pulls out a larger, light, heavy crossbow, and just kind of like,
Okay.
thunk, and just, you can see like kind of like shake her body because she's not that large, but she does have a heavy crossbow.
BFC.
Just pops up, does a thing, does a little draconic prayer that she actually hits, so that this looks cool. That's a 21, so not quite.
Damn.
And she's kind of like,
Is she blessed as well?
yes, she is. You're right.
Automatically would hit.
It would automatically hit. You're right. Excellent.
I got you, Shaposh.
So yes,
So I hand you that orb.
that will hit.
All for this moment.
We balling hard, boys.
Fuck it, we ball.
Fucking we ball. All right. So that is
Balls like-
8 damage, reduced in
Right now,
half,
puck
4
is like-
damage. But hey, this is the first time in a bit that
Sport is like.
you see the
Sports ball.
large bolt go
Okay,
through,
it's
and
fine.
like actual bits and droplets of water like spray out from before, and kind of
Ooh.
gets onto Whisper.
Jamie talk.
And it's like icy cold as it hits you, which you already knew because you ran through it like a fucking linebacker.
Yeah,
He's in.
I'm good.
He's every fucking where. War can.
Anyways.
Sorry.
All right.
Ted Lasso.
Once again,
Good show. We haven't seen it.
it's the Miradon's turn, and he'll do the same thing he did last time, 3 different attacks. He's going to roll to see if he gets his icy attacks back. He does not. So just regular attacks. Ooh. No.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. So Yasadi once again sees the scimitar as it's being turned into, as he's trying to slash across. He'll kind of like baseball swing it up into the air, and like you can kind of see little bits of ice kind of fly off as it kind of, but it also like reforms back into the trident, stabs through Ace's armor once again. Who kind of is like, really?
You good?
I'm fine. It takes 6 damage for Ace. Who's taking this one? No. And the ice kind of like, as the Maribon pulls it back, kind of flips it around into a rapier and stabs straight through a critical point, and critical hits you. So we're gonna do my
I got you, love.
fun little thing where it does max
I
damage.
got you, love.
So that's
Just
6 plus
What did I do?
5, 11 plus 4 is 15 damage.
I'm still good.
I'm
But-
still standing.
Here.
Better than I ever did. Jonathan's turn.
Alright, let's fucking do it. I've been waiting 2 turns to firebolt him up. Literally, if there was a butthole, like, I'm not saying I'm aiming, but. So, firebolt.
I know this isn't Pathfinder, so you can't do that, but yeah, go ahead and fire.
That's not great. Nope, not gonna hit. 17 total, but you can see if there's something else that happens.
Except if you blessed it.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
Oh,
right.
wait,
blessed.
that's the one.
There's
No, I
way-
can't.
There's no way.
No, there's
that-
literally no way I can't.
Yeah, I know.
I'm out
Who
of.
is blessed at this point, by the way?
Me.
Pretty much everybody.
We're all just blessed, bro.
Because Koros did bless himself and Shapash as well. Like, he picked those 4 he blessed.
Okay, well,
So
that didn't
everybody
work.
but me. Sweet.
So what I'm gonna do
Oh, he didn't realize you were blessed.
is I
Sorry.
attacked. I'm gonna run up here, right up to
Okay.
his face. As soon as I shoot it, it fucking goes wide, and you just.
It doesn't.
and
It doesn't go. It doesn't go wide. You do hit it,
It
but
just-
it just kind of fizzles.
Okay.
It didn't quite have the
Just
oomph to do
Damage
damage.
a lot in this mirror on.
Yeah.
Alright, that my turn now.
Adi's turn.
Ari is going to pick herself up because she's on the ground.
Speed.
Very,
Yeah.
very
Yeah,
fair and very true.
yeah.
True and fair.
Oh, bitch. There is no way she makes it to Whisper, yeah?
No. You've taken half your movement speed, so you have 15 left. Unless you want to use your bonus action to dash. I'm not sure how often you can do that.
The belt I'm wearing lets me feed a health potion as a bonus action.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you had the cool belt.
You have the alchemist spell.
so you just dash as an action and then.
Yeah, I'm just gonna dash as an action up
Okay.
to her.
Alright.
So
So that's
whisper
15,
plus 30.
20,
25.
25, 30. Sorry,
How many do you have?
Splash.
What?
And
In the
another
belt,
1,
too.
2, and then
I
15,
have
which
four on me.
you're right next to her. I'll like that. Alright. And then you're going to use your bonus action to give
Give
Whisper
her
a
a
health potion.
greater health potion. Which is what?
Get
Good
the-
question. Where are
I
the
mean, they're
health
back
potions?
there.
2d greater is 44 plus 4.
But I could just roll d4.
But where's the fun in that? We got the potions.
We have the potions.
Yeah, we
man.
do have
I love
potions.
these freaking potions.
They're so great.
Yeah, so
I
it's
don't
super
even care
cool
that
when you
I'm
have
ruining
Okay, let's look at
the
some other
visual.
stuff.
bottle
Let's look at
on
some other
the
stuff on
screen.
Etsy. Etsy's still got some amazing
Etsy's
stuff.
got super cool stuff.
These are my favorite
Not an
things,
ad for
and they're
Etsy.
so dumb, but I love them.
Actually, I don't think we got these on Etsy.
Yes, we did.
I thought we
We can Kickstarter one.
Kickstarted.
Nope.
Ta-da! Wow,
those
that's
those,
not
those
great.
pretty. I see a 4 and 2 2s.
Yeah.
That's
It's
pretty good.
another 2.
So that's 6, 10 plus
4.
4, 14.
That's not bad. That's
Pretty
not
good.
bad.
That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
That's 2 or 3 hits.
Yeah.
Probably,
That's
more,
the average.
probably more like 2.
That's that hit.
hit
14
you
that's
just
out of a
took.
max possible of 20. That's pretty
Yeah,
good.
because if you took the average, it'd be 12. So.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
True.
We truant out here, boys.
And that's my turn. Sorry.
Any truers in the chat? Because we're on Twitch.
We're on Twitch.
No,
Pretty
that was the funny haha joke that I made.
Ha
Ah,
All right. So, like, it's a bit strange because of the magic of the alchemist belt kind of speeds up everything that you're doing when it involves potions. So like the fact that you were able to go do all that and you kind of like pulled it up and almost kind of halfway to where you gave it to her.
jammed it in her mouth.
It was just in her mouth.
I just
Yeah.
shoved it down your throat.
Call of Duty.
Well, the magic of
Content
it did.
people.
The magic of it did because you can't reach her throat.
That's a fair point. My arm like elongated.
Oh no, that's terrible. We're not space jamming it.
Remember the other perk? Quick hands.
We're not
fast
doing
hands.
that.
Fast hands perks. On Call
My
of Duty.
mouth went.
Oh, that's even worse. Why? Why did things happen that I don't like? Anyway, now is Adi's turn over?
That is my whole story.
Okay,
Yeah.
Dez's
Action.
turn now.
Bonus.
Des, you just got hit in the face with a rock.
You're gonna have to get
Dead.
up.
I know. Des is getting up.
I really
Alright.
should have healed you too.
Just
I'm
gonna
so
stay where I'm at
sorry.
now.
All right, Des is now still concentrating, fortunately. And I'm not going to put the 800 mark on there because it's going to ruin the entire little kind of plot there.
We got.
Make sure you're blessed.
Yeah, I'm blessed.
Hashtag.
Hashtag blessed. All right. So yeah, only one of those is gonna hit. It's gonna be it's gonna be. Gosh, why am I blanking? 27.
27 to hit.
Yeah, 27 to
Yeah,
hit.
unfortunately, that's not. Yeah, I get it.
It actually uses 3 uses of shield.
Yeah, the other two did not.
Bro, I did that to you guys before too. I gave the kobolds scale sorcerer a ring of shield. I love giving enemies random magic items.
I need to get more blue cat's eyes.
Oh shit.
Chipping. They're my favorite colors.
All right, that'll do
You can't,
9.
Okay.
You can't roll them with metal.
I haven't been rolling
Alright.
metal lately.
9 piercing, bro.
And that's everything.
If you roll them with
I think they
Um,
just dropped on the ground a couple times. Probably what happened.
Yes, I'll do it.
Mhm.
My turn is
Okay.
very seamless.
I mean, that's pretty nice.
very quick and tidy.
Whisper, you're up. How long does your magical giant woman last?
Oh, I want to say a minute.
Okay, has it been 10? It hasn't been 10 rounds yet. I want to say it's been 6.
I want to say 2.
Alright.
I haven't been keeping track of it though.
It was 3 rounds of since we got to this spot.
That's true. So it's probably been about 8 rounds then.
Dang.
Alright, so you got 2 more rounds of it.
Oh, I knew that because I had to wait twice for my fireball.
One of these. One of these. Nope.
No?
I have a 20 and a 21.
What are you rolling?
D20s.
I mean, like, what did you roll though?
A 14 and a 13.
This is a rough fight.
Yeah, but we got tons of people on one
Yeah,
enemy.
that's kind of why
Yeah.
I made his AC. So
CR makes sense.
And that included the D4s I rolled
Yeah.
once.
All right,
I know. I get it. I get it.
all right. Our draconian allies will go next. I'm sorry, Whisper. Unless you had something else you wanted to do.
I have nothing else.
Okay.
I don't even have an action surge.
All right. So we've got Ace up first, who's going to slash twice, and it's going to go through, and then he's going to kind of like go back, almost like he's using a rapier, and just shove it straight through. And this time we'll punch through, and a backspray of water will come out. And is anyone behind it?
Just Des. but
Just
like
you.
15
You're behind it, so you get splashed a little
Oh,
bit.
splash.
Not, it doesn't do any damage. It's just like a spray, like a amusement park almost.
Oh no, water. I'm gonna try.
Oh god, no, not water. Whatever. Well, I don't care. Anyway. All right.
It's like it gets in your hair, you're just like, oh, and fling
You see the green and the purple.
All
of the
right.
hair.
Ace will do 6 damage. Not bad. Not bad.
little like sparkles in the sky.
All right. Next up is Usagi, who will just rage fuel
Wreck
try
shit.
and wreck shit. All right. Give me like a wreck, Usagi. Alright, she's gonna baseball swing, and it's gonna kind of like do the same thing where it was like it just kind of like lowers down, and she's gonna be like, and then she kind of like twists it around and just smashes it into the ground, and then she will actually hit that. So she will do. Gonna use D12. Fucking yikes! Roll the 1.
That's how it be.
That sucks. Anyway, that'll do 2 damage because it's reduced.
Reduce, yeah.
She's not great about that. She's not happy about that one either, even if she did get the hit. And then Korost.
So that's 2 more.
You hear me?
Boo. Yes.
We got to beat him again.
Jeff Rose, the tyrant.
I can't remember his name. It's fucking stupid something. I can't remember. Your surname you gave him.
Oh, I honestly, I can commit it to the short term.
Yeah.
It ended in panda.
Ended in the second time.
Alright, you see Korost kind of channel magic into his staff as he starts to cast Chromatic Orb.
Hot.
Does acid.
He will not do acid.
Worse yet, does poison.
He doesn't do poison either. He heard you when you said not to do that.
Listen to me.
You don't get to
Frickin' smart Alex.
You don't get to pick a con.
Yeah, you do.
You do.
You
You're thinking of prismatic spray. You roll for that one.
Yeah, Chromatic Orb, you're allowed to choose whichever one. And he's going to choose Lightning.
Yeah,
do?
buddy.
Hey.
Hey.
Go through.
I'm gonna feel the tingle through my
They
boots
don't-
because this place is.
I wish
Fucking
5e
soaked.
did more vulnerabilities. They do a good job of immunities and resistances, but not a good job of vulnerabilities.
I'm going to add vulnerabilities to a lot of
Yeah.
things. I'm not going to do it to this particular one, but there will be vulnerabilities to enemies in the future.
I think that's the right way to do it for me too. Yeah.
But he will do quite a bit of damage. He does 20 lightning damage. As Koros,
Just
the
Not
this
have-
crackling ball of energy comes in and just shocks the hell out of this water elemental, and you can kind of see steam kind of come off of it
Mhm.
as just the electrolysis and the energy kind of frays it a bit.
Does it
Didn't
make any
fucking
kind of weird
resist that.
noises? Does it go like?
If
Yeah.
it makes like the idea of the water elementals, and when they speak, it kind of like it sounds like waves and like the crashing of waves on something. So
Like-
you hear that. I don't think you would recognize it as saying anything. It just makes noises to you. But yeah, it definitely makes like the. It's like, and if anyone knows Aquin, they would be able to understand it.
You know, actually, I think I know Primordial.
Primordially, you would be able to understand
I-
that it is a language.
Yeah, I know it.
You know Aquin?
Because I know that version of Primordial. Because Primordial splits into different
Yeah,
things.
it's like it's Terran, Aquan,
Yeah.
Ignin,
Give me 1 second.
and Aaron. Aaron.
Celestial, Common, Primordial, and because I'm from Water Plane, I would assume it would be Aquan, not.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can understand it.
Yeah.
It's not saying anything that you would really consider useful.
Yeah.
It's basically like screaming and saying things like "get out" and
Fuck you.
"fuck you."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back off. Essentially.
Yeah, it's essentially like acting as if it's
A
guarding
guardian.
something.
Yeah.
Which you could kind of glean
Oh,
from
yeah.
the fact that it exists.
Oh yeah, that's right. We did establish Des would be more akin to hearing Terran.
Yes. If you would be able to glean anything, it would be Terran, because you do have an Earth affinity. We got Water affinity, Earth affinity, Ice affinity. Okay.
Death affinity.
Death affinity to
The
Jesus.
lack,
Okay.
the void of affinity.
Alright. Posh gonna take her
I
turn.
always picture watering as like a
That's not
gargling.
gonna do it. Two
Like,
more.
gargling.
Shaposh is getting a little frustrated because those are 2 more bolts that just gonna get absorbed into the thing. And she's like, "What am I gonna do to these stupid things?" And she kind of like, she doesn't throw. She like thinks about throwing the heavy crossbow, and then she's like, "No, I like this too much." Mirabon's turn. It will do its thing, and it will see if it does that. It does not. That's for that. Miss. For that. Miss. For that. A 19 plus 7 will hit 8. Will hit, not Ace, Yasaki.
Okay. And they're not 5 feet from me.
Yasadi will, after getting like a little bit of damage and then watching a bolt of electricity like shock it, she goes like, "Ha! Nice!" And then she gets punched in the face. And she takes 6 damage.
This is the card.
Alright, Jonas' turn.
Okay, I'm going to do.
Also, this elemental, just especially after that electronic shock, is looking a little bit less alive than it was before. It's kind of like a little bits are sloshing off and kind of roning down the cobblestone, and kind of like it's kind of like losing its form a bit.
You know, I think Jonas gets advantage.
That's what I was gonna say. I get advantage.
You do get
I'm
advantage.
using trident, not magic. So.
Mhm.
All right. So I'm gonna do my advantage. That's not bad. 7.
That is not bad. Correct.
18 plus 6, 23.
Yeah, 23 will hit.
All right. With 23, I'm attaching my last spell.
Okay.
It's gonna be a 2nd level divine smite.
Okay.
3d8.
Ooh.
That's okay. 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's 8 from just the radiant damage,
Okay.
and then the actual trident. I'm using one-handed, so it's a d8 as well. That sucked. 1 plus 3 is 4. So have the 2 for piercing.
Okay. It did not like that. So you hear kind of like. It doesn't say anything like legible, but
Yeah.
there you go. Adi's turn.
Yeah,
fuck
yeah,
you.
sure. For sure. What am I gonna do?
Last spell there.
How bloody do Jonas and Des look?
Des still looks pretty good, all things considered, honestly.
It's got a little lump on her head.
Yeah, she's just kind of pissed.
Jonas covered in blood.
He's less than half.
I'm at 18.
Sure.
That's less than me.
I will go ahead and slap your ass again and tell you you're fuck ass amazing. I give you healing for some amount.
Getting a little late.
6.
I apologize.
What is that?
6 temporary hit points for a whole round.
Nice.
It goes away after a round.
Fortunately, it does not. The spell fizzles and is ineffectual.
Well, that sucks.
Okay.
Damn.
Fuck.
Ones be like that.
It happens.
At least I didn't get zapped.
Well, now
Very
I
true.
feel
Right.
impotent
I-
and ineffectual.
It could have been so much worse.
And
I'm so sorry, Adi. You've had nothing has worked for you except
it's
for Bless.
fine.
The healing
Bless has done its work though. I
the
will say
healing
that.
potion has worked.
It's true.
Healing potions do work. It's
That's
true.
why we buy them.
I will take the dodge action.
Okay.
So back in the back.
Okay.
All good.
All right. Means it's Dez's turn.
All right, you know what time it is. It's bolt o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to put the ocean down.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's not gonna do it. And nope. Just 3 shots. Just. It's like, damn.
Yeah. And unfortunately, to make that particular miss worse, the temple does start shaking again. This time, noticeably longer than before.
Well, fudge buckets.
So everyone make
Dexter.
your dexterity savings
Oh,
throws.
ass. You know what? Big ass dexterity save. You ready? Big and sparkly. Nice.
God, they all fail.
This should do it, I think.
Me too. 8.
15.
15's fine.
17.
17's fine.
Dexy as
That
hell.
one's fine. All right.
This kind of keeps her legs
It's
steady.
pretty
This
cool.
time she's
'cause
like,
in this chamber, because it can't go prone, it's pretty cool that it's
Mhm.
like impervious to it.
this is gonna kind of keep her steady. She's gonna go, ha!
Shapash is gonna go from the ground like, fuck you. All right. Whisper's turn.
I switched to my d20s. Well, one of them because I only have 3.
How we do? How we do?
That 14 plus your modifier plus 4 looks pretty good.
Yeah. I guess it doesn't matter what they're paired with.
Oh, I was just putting the ones that were next to each other.
Yeah, I was going with the idea of this one's in the same set.
Oh, I can't even tell which ones are on the same side. My bad. Then. So whatever you want to do.
I know. I mean, I want to put the 4 in front. So that's 24.
24 will hit.
The other one doesn't, because it's a 5 plus 1 plus 6.
Okay.
That doesn't. It hurts. It hurts really bad.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. Okay. I was supposed to be adding plus 7 this whole time.
What?
The damage?
My rapier. For a hit. I've been adding plus 6. Anyway! 14.
Thanks. 14 damage?
Yes.
How do you want to do it?
How do I want to do it? How do I want to fucking do
How
it?
do you want to do it?
Again?
Yep.
Here's how I'm gonna do it. Again. I'm gonna fucking get that thing where it's good. Right where I know it, because I've done this before. I've felt the inside of that leather cuirass more than once now. And I'm gonna feel that bit, and I'm gonna taste it. Literally, because I'm gonna bite the fuck out of it
Okay.
as I'm ripping through it a second goddamn time.
I don't want to kink shame.
Okay. So you're just gonna go in, you're just gonna like go in there like
No.
almost like shish kebab it and then bring it out and bite it.
I'm gonna go through shish kebab, feel the money,
Mhm.
because you know when you hit
Ooh, the money shot.
the money shot. I'm gonna know it's good.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go for the ripping motion,
Grab
and
him
just
by the
because I'm
balls.
feeling fucking feral, I'm gonna bite it too. Yeah.
Okay.
Finish
Like
the money
you
shot
rip-
the rim.
So you rip the curious out and just chomp on it, and it just kind of crumples on the might of your very large woman jaws. And
I'm
you
gonna
just
give it a good fucking dog shake.
you can see like it's almost like somebody had a water it was like a ice sculpture and just turned to water and just collapses on itself
Mhm.
and just splashes up and splashes back down and just spreads out across the entirety of the floor.
I'll go.
Clank, clank, clank,
Get
clank,
it,
clank.
girl.
This is just
Fuck
gonna
that thing.
chirp out like, Whisker, letting your hair all the way down.
You haven't seen my hair down.
Hot. Shapash's like on the ground. Hot.
That'll be my cue to. I'm now normal size because right on time,
Yeah. You'll shrink down.
and I will go and help her.
Alright. We're up. Combat is now over. You guys can all just kind of get up and
That's what just kind of go around like
Do
helping pull
dispersed
people
water
up.
elementals have eyeballs?
do they have eyeballs?
Yeah.
Not in the corporeal like way that you would think. Like it did have like
They could
things that were
see,
it had eyes,
Yeah.
but not eyeballs.
Yeah. Sure.
And I think because it is a bit late, and there's a lot of narration to do for this next little bit. I'm going to call that for today. You guys, you solved my water puzzle yesterday, which was fun, and the day you solved my a suit of armor beats the shit out of you puzzle. Congratulations.
You've solved my suit of armor beats the shit out of you puzzle.
Mhm. I mean, I thought it was a fun little thing where an enemy that can't go prone in an area that can shake and kind of shake, rattle, and roll you. But yes, thank you for taking the time to listen to us play Dungeons and Dragons.
I get pissed off at one enemy.
Yes, that one enemy. It's always kind of iffy to try and balance an encounter with one enemy when you've got basically 8 combatants.
Well, were we more pissed at the enemy or harassed? And
Well, it depends on who you want to
Blankness.
blame for that happening, I
That
suppose.
was gonna happen whether it caressed brain cells or not.
I can pretty much guarantee you at some point someone was going to touch that sensor because it's kind of
if it
just
wasn't
there.
Korast, it'd be Addie.
Yeah, so Addie's just like, oh, an opportunity for not to be me. Great, awesome, love that. But yes, thank you to Sirenscape for the excellent music that we've been using throughout all of our campaigns. Now, I think the only time that we didn't use it was the first campaign.
The very
of-
first session we did on Pillars of Creation.
Yeah, that was the only time we didn't have
we have set up.
any set up, and then I think we had music on it anyway.
Yeah,
It was
we
just-
did a post edit as
Yeah.
well to help out.
But yeah, no, it's much better with the ambient music and the fight music for both this episode and last episode. I really enjoyed.
Yeah, it was cool also for this one because I had no idea what you were gonna do for your battles, but we had animated armor and they had animated armor battle, which was really cool. And then that one was called Water Elemental Battle.
Yeah.
that we were just doing. That's why I was sloshing and gargling and stuff. So that was really cool to have that
Yeah, so
option.
once again, shout out to Sirenscape for that excellent backdrop. But unless any of you guys have any questions about what we're doing or anything for me that you may have had a question about for this particular episode, I think we can start wrapping it up.
Yeah, I think we're good. Big thing for us is check us out. Obviously, you're on YouTube watching us because that's where we're putting up. We're in the process. Andrew's kind of trying to set up a form of a podcast.
Yeah,
We're making the versions already.
setting
set
up a podcast is a bit more difficult than doing YouTube because most of them require an RSS feed, which requires money, especially if you want to release it at the rate we are, because we wanted to do this on a weekly basis.
Yep, Tuesdays at 10 p.m.
Yeah, exactly. So
Eastern.
that would be a 3-hour-ish podcast every week. That's
an amount of money
That's-
that would be,
yeah.
super helpful if you wanted to support us.
Yeah, and
And
that
we
kind
could
of brings
totally bring that to you.
which brings us to if you would like to, we do have a Patreon, in which you can go to. If you look at the screen, patreon.com/lizards and locations.
Yeah, if we can get some patrons to kind of fund that RSS feed, I would do it in a second.
Yeah.
Pretty much any money you use to support us is going to go back to,
This,
serving
yeah.
you guys.
Yeah, we're working on a few things. We've got the camera set up for the most part that we're happy with, but we're kind of getting a stream deck, which is gonna be cool for a little bit more keeping us interactive without screen. But other than that, anything you do is gonna go towards back into this, and we just love doing it. We do it without the Patreon. We'll do it with the Patreon. Another thing, make sure you check out our Twitter. Go to @lizardscast. And so you can check out, we're always updating. Try to get as much as daily as possible. Sometimes we miss a day. We try to add content, whether it's pictures or, upcoming things, us fooling around, going to a hockey game. Today, with our other friends, we did our off-camera campaign. And so we got to take a couple pictures. Like, hey, this is, when we're not on camera. And so that was a lot of fun for us.
I'm really hoping we get to do a bonus episode of that campaign because John put in so much work to that campaign, and it really would mean a lot, I think, to him and also to me because I appreciate that kind of thing.
And there are a lot of our first characters.
Yeah.
It's
so
my
that's
first
cool.
character. It's your first character.
Your first game.
It's definitely not my first character.
Yeah.
I've been playing this game for 20 years now.
It's my second and third character.
Second, third.
I'm old. But unless Nate, do you have anything you want to say? Do you have anything in particular? I don't mean to call you out. I'm just making sure we get everything around.
No.
I don't want to continue requesting funding or requesting interaction on our in the episodes.
Yeah, we'd
but
love to hear from you guys. If you wanted to message us or anything.
Yeah, I have the email up there, lizardsandlocations@gmail.com. You can ask us questions, ask us put comments, things you'd like to see, those kind of things. You could also, even if you have art that you'd like to share with us, we'd love to look at it.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Fan art brings me to life and evanescence in the background right now, honestly. But yeah, as much as I say I don't want to shill please support us, please talk to us, but please talk to us.
Yeah,
it would mean a lot to us if you guys
We
just
need
send us
friends.
we're 2 years into the pandemic. We need human interaction. But yes.
Other than that, I think it's it. Check us out Tuesdays at 10 p.m. Eastern. That's when we'll be releasing the videos.
All right. Thank you for joining us, and see you next time on Lizards and Locations.
Peace.
Dudes.
I'm just going to keep delaying it.
We're just going to keep going.
So there's...